You're listening to the Tumbling Saber Podcast, a member of the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network. Check us out on the web at starwarscommonwealth.com, on iTunes, Facebook, and Twitter, and take your first step into a larger world. Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 94. 94 of the Tumbling Saber Podcast. My name remains Kyle.
My name remains Corey.
Oh, we're both as sharp as grapes tonight.
Yeah.
I can see this is going to be a real shit show. Yep.
But it's been awesome. I mean, come on, think about it. The weather's, oh my god, we have like it's officially fall now. Summer's over, but I mean, we didn't have a great summer out here, but man, the past week and a half, 2 weeks has just been scorchers, man.
Well, the entire month of September.
Yeah, I'm not complaining either. I mean, but god, yeah, it burns you out, man.
No, we had some smothering heat. I mean, we've had a lot of heat for the last, 2 weeks, but the last 3 days in particular, whew. Bradley, man, we might give you a run for your money. It's been upper 80s plus humidex.
Yeah, humidex is strong out here too. Like there was basically like that Ironman triathlons planned for today, and they were canceled and all that because of the heat.
Well, my daughter has the Terry Fox run on Tuesday, and I don't know if they're going to let them do it. There's been no word to the opposite yet, but I don't know if they're going to let little children run around in like 30 degree, whatever that is, 85 degree heat plus humidity. I'm not sure that's going to happen. But anyway, a lot of Star Wars stuff to talk about this week, man. Holy moly. The show notes, they are loaded. So what do you say, Corey? Should we get to it?
Yeah, I might have a little collecting update for y'all.
Oh, okay. All right, let's hear it.
I don't know, man. It's like I was just riding the wave. I don't know if anyone missed last week, but I found my white whale, the 40th anniversary R2. I just found him on the pegs, and I was like, boom! I snatched it up, and it caused like a domino effect. I don't know. It's like the force was so strong with me, so I just rode this wave, and then come Monday, I think it was Monday or Tuesday. I'm not even sure. Like it was so half-assed. That's the best part. It's like I wasn't expecting anything like with this R2, I already resigned to the fact that I was going to probably spend $100. So anyhow, like same thing with this Captain Rex drop this week on the Hasbro toy shop. So
you did it, huh?
Yeah, man. Like I was just there, and I happened to be just catch a message from I'm on a forum for the Black Series Canada toy forum on Facebook.
I think I'm going to regret letting you know about that place.
Oh, I've been watching. I mean, this was the only one where it was really just like, okay, it's like the sale started now. So I was like, okay, I'll mosey on over, and it was available. I still needed to register and everything, which I did, and then just went back. It was still there. So like I did it all nonchalantly, like super half-assedly, but it worked out. I was happy about that. And then I figured, you know what, I'm going to go out again later in the week, just peruse. And I stumbled into a store that I'd never been in before, actually. It was a video game store. And yeah, they had a couple of 6 inches that definitely I had to pick some up for our Patreon users. They were just too good to pass up. And I found some Porgs. Some Porg...
the Funkos.
Yeah, the Funko Pop Porg. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
You're a maniac, man. You're dumping all your money into Star Wars.
Well, they weren't that bad. I mean, come on. They were like $12 for a Funko. But this is the big one, but the Disney Infinity set, like I think you bought the same one with Ahsoka and Anakin. Yeah. Well, I told a story before that I had purchased this already when it went down to $19.99, down from $69 to $29 to $19. I said, okay, I'm going to buy it. Checked out at the cash. By the time I got home, it was gone. I don't know what happened. So anyway, I was eyeing in at the my local honey hole, and there was no price tag on it this time, nothing on the shelves. So I took it to a scanner, and it was $5, like $4.96 to be exact. $4.96. So I was just like, done.
Cool, man. Yeah, that
it's a good
Ahsoka, that Ahsoka figure is outstanding.
It's really nice. Yeah, all those little figures. I got so many of them now. They were like $2-3 a pop, so I was like, couldn't pass them up, right?
Yeah, no, I bought some at those ridiculous prices too. Ah, cool, man. So I mean, you're a little bit on fire with your collecting.
It all came together. But I mean, probably hit a lull now. I don't see anything else really. We'll talk about that later on, I think.
Well, should I tell you that the Jaina Solo is also on pre-order?
I saw that today too, and oh man, I'm tempted, bro. Really tempted. It's a beautiful. That's a beautiful toy, man. Like just the fighter pilot, black fighter pilot suit with the saber.
Yeah, no, it's a great looking figure.
Yeah,
I thought about it, but no. The shipping is as much as the figure itself, and I'm not doing it. All right, let's get out of collecting for now. We might come back to it later. You want to tee off on this dope who's got his petition going on change.org to replace J.J. Abrams?
To be honest, I don't really have too much to say about stuff like that. Like, when I see something like that, I kind of just more or less turn a blind eye. Like, people are entitled to their own opinions, and, if they want to kind of bash on KK or Kathleen Kennedy, I mean, it all depends how you do it, So when there's a way of doing it that makes you look really bad, and then there's a way of doing it that, could be proper. And I don't know, like when I just see this stuff, I don't want to hear it really, like I've heard it all at this point, I believe. And I'm okay with not listening to stuff like that. Like I kind of just really block it out.
Well, like what kind of nerve do you have to possess within you to say, I'm going to start a petition and by God, Kathleen Kennedy's going to listen to me? Like, what is this guy thinking? And let's just put the cards on the
table
table
here.
Who's
going to sign this thing?
Well, 4,672 people have signed it.
Wow, that's a drop in the bucket, really, right?
It's an impressive number for a petition, I suppose, but they're not changing their mind about this. And I understand if and I don't blame you if you're kind of nonplussed about the whole J.J. Abrams announcement. Power to you. But to think you have the power to make Kathleen Kennedy change her mind, come on, like, get over yourself, okay? You dope. God.
It's so true. Like
what do you really think, honestly? Piss off. Like I said, there's other ways to voice your displeasure. Like, you could have just written her a letter saying, can you please, in the future, maybe do something a little more creative, a little more progressive? I don't know. Like, they could have got 1 million signatures on this, and they're still not going to change their mind.
No.
Just piss off. Go away.
It just seems like a lot of people attach their opinions, and in my opinion, it seems like a lot of people, when they get riled up about this, it almost becomes like an attention thing, I would think.
Well, this guy also started a petition to get Donald Trump, the Trump administration, to declassify all kinds of documents about aliens living on Earth or something like that. So this guy's quite the piece of work.
Yeah, he's got the tinfoil hat.
And a hell of a sense of entitlement. My God, so ridiculous. Just, if you're that unhappy, protest with your wallet. That is the most effective form of protest for corporations. Protest with your wallet, stay home. Don't go see episode 9 if you're that unhappy about this. But you know what? All of those people, all 4,672, they'll all be there opening night, guaranteed.
And then openly voice their displeasure about how bad it was and blah, blah, blah. Like,
then go back and see it a second and third time.
Yep.
Idiots. Oh, God. So, all right. Did you see our PM Trudeau? He was wearing some Chewy socks when he was, I think, wherever he was. I don't know.
I think it was at the United Nations, no?
Sure, why not? Let's say that. But it's the second time, at least, that he's been caught in public wearing Star Wars socks at an official function. This guy wears his fandom on his sleeve. I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. If you're not going to like our PM, that's fine. But you got to at least give him that. He's got great fashion sense and good taste in movies.
He's a good dude. He represents us well.
Yeah, most people seem to dig him. Anyway, let's get into some actual news. We'll try and tackle the news a little bit quicker than usual today because we got a lot going on in the binary sunset. I don't know if we can call it a binary sunset today. It might just have to be like a full day under the binary suns. Which, given the weekend we just had, we know what that feels like. All right, so Luke's robe. So I guess I should say that for the rest of the episode, really, it's going to verge around spoilers and spoilery talk. So tread carefully and don't be shy to use that fast forward button. So MSW had a report. Actually, they carried a screenshot from the Star Wars card trader. It's a very cartoonish looking shot of Luke Skywalker in his final outfit. I guess that would be his third outfit from The Last Jedi. And boy, oh boy, does he ever look like Jedi Anakin from Revenge of the Sith, doesn't he?
Yep. Yeah, I like it.
I don't know that there's any leather with this Luke Skywalker outfit as opposed to the Anakin, which is full on leather.
It looks suede almost.
Well, I mean, it's hard to tell. It's an illustration, right? But so what do you make of this? Do we make anything of this? In Star Wars, the OT, Luke went from wearing white to gray to black, and that's a very obvious symbol of Luke's sort of maturity, evolution as a character from naive to learned, right?
Yeah, I like it. I don't think. I mean, hopefully in this case, it's not really symbolic of, the darkness inside him or something like that. Like you said, in Jedi, he's pretty much wearing black the whole time. And again, there was that struggle within him still. He still had to kind of have his trial, which was to face his father. And then he pulls the flap down and there's white underneath that to like symbolize the light.
Yeah, I never really thought about that until... Actually, I didn't realize that until, not too long ago. I always just thought, Luke walking around with his shirt flapped open. Like, look presentable, Luke. Button up your shirt. You're going to a party. Come on, man.
Oh, he was like, oh man, that was a crazy battle. It's hot in this Death Star.
Well, his hair was perfect. You see how he's walking down that ramp to the Ewok village where everybody was? His hair is bouncing. Like he just coiffed himself. Button up your shirt, dude.
Bah, he's gone casual mode. It's party mode, Luke.
Party mode, Luke. Well, it was the 80s, so he's probably got a little vial of Coke in his back pocket.
You never heard. I wouldn't put it past any of that cast.
Oh, come on. There was blow all over that set. Come on, let's be serious here. So one, a thought that jumped to mind about this outfit, aside from seeing Luke, in his TFA robes, which are very light colored, and then he moves to his poncho, which is a little bit darker, and then to this outfit, which is very dark. There's that whole OT thing is sort of condensed into one movie, so it seems. So you could look at it that way, but I'm looking at it. We were told in the EW, the Bresna bomb, that one of the themes of the movie was about not meeting your heroes because they're bound to let you down. I wonder if there's another slant here of the whole hero worship thing, where Luke is it's sort of a thing like son mimicking father. Because we know that by the end of Jedi, it's clear how much Luke loves Anakin. So I can easily see him spending a great deal of time learning as much as he can about Anakin, through research or through Force Ghost Anakin himself in those post-Jedi years. So, a little mimicry later in Luke's life doesn't seem that far-fetched, or is it really just as simple as, it's a thematic color thing? What do you think?
I don't know. Are you talking like mimicry in the sense that Luke may turn to the dark side again, or is being tempted again?
No, just his father is his hero, right? Or potentially. I'm totally throwing stuff at the wall here. Like, could the similarities between this Luke outfit to Anakin's from Revenge of the Sith, could it be like a hero worship thing where Luke is not trying to be like his dad?
Well, I know what you mean. Like Kylo's trying to be like his grandfather.
Well, yeah, and there's another layer to it. Kylo's trying to be like Vader. Luke trying to be Anakin. There's that whole thing going on. Like Kylo's hero is Vader. Luke's hero could be Anakin. There could be something to that.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know. I think it's just going to be more like thematic. I hope it doesn't bode anything, like I said, for dark side Luke. Like, we all get that, he's probably going to be grumpy and whatnot, but man, what would you do at the end of this movie if Luke, like I said, was taking off with Snoke, kind of?
Like, you knew they were in cahoots?
Yeah, or, Luke just said, okay, like, I have to go with him because, even though he's bad, like, what we need to do is right.
Yeah, that would hurt, man. That would hurt. That would be a big WTF and a heck of a cliffhanger as far as Luke's concerned for the next movie. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I really don't.
Yeah, I kind of hope not.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on quickly. Tamara Morrison wants to play Rex again, Corey. That's pretty cool, right?
I love it.
Love it, yeah. I mean, the knee-jerk reaction was hell yeah, and upon further reflection, it's still hell yeah. Like, this really should happen. This has got to be on Lucasfilm's slate at some point. The question is, how do they do it, right?
Well, that's the best part, like, if they are to do it, for me, just having, like, right off the top of my head, it would have to be done soon, and the next kind of movie that's on the docket, I think, we're all thinking it's going to be the Obi-Wan movie, and that could work.
Rex in the Obi-Wan movie?
Yeah, and that means he can get word of Ahsoka to Obi-Wan. Ahsoka even leaves a possible role for Ahsoka in that movie, maybe.
You know what? I would spill lots of blood, including my own, to see Ahsoka, Rex, and Obi-Wan together. On-screen live action. That would be, like, you would have to honestly scrape me off the floor. That would be the end of me.
Oh, it would be awesome. Like, and plus, like I said, he's the perfect age now to be thrown into an Obi-Wan scenario. And, it could... Again, remember I had said this before in the past too, if, like, Rogue One leads directly into A New Hope. The Kenobi film can do the same thing.
Do you think?
But then we don't know where they are in the timeline now,
Ahsoka,
too.
Yeah, I mean,
so Ahsoka wouldn't be there, and
this would have to back up at least sometime before Twilight of the Apprentice.
Yeah,
I mean, unless we're going to find out what's happened, what's become of Ahsoka coming up in the next month and change. So maybe she's back on the table. Who knows?
That's it. Maybe Rex can pass the word on.
That would be really nice, though. What about folding in Boba Fett somehow? I always think that somehow Rex and Boba together on screen, not necessarily as allies in any way, but just sort of like the theme of the movie would be being identity and choice and picking your path. And so you have genetically the same person, one who became a not so nice guy, and the other who became a great soldier for a good cause. So I wonder if you can create some dramatic tension between those two characters. Not that Rex is really any match for Boba, I would think, considering the age differentials, but I don't know. I think there could be something there, right?
Yeah, that'd be a neat way of looking at it. Like, you'd have to do some computer, whatever. Like, you'd have to do some de-aging stuff on Tamara Morrison, but to make
or I don't know. Does Daniel Logan reprise Boba Fett? Does he have the chops to get back in that suit? I mean, he looks really friendly, right?
Yeah, I mean, if they keep him masked for the most part, anyhow, then he just needs to really have body language.
Well, that's the thing. You would need to have them looking at each other. Make them. Well, I mean, Boba could see Rex and realize that he's looking at himself, but you need Rex also to look back at Boba and make eye contact with himself, just younger. Anyway, I think there's something they could do in there. Because let's face it, Rex. I don't think Rex can carry a movie on his own, right?
No.
He's got to be part of an ensemble.
Maybe like an animated movie or something, but yeah, for sure an ensemble.
And even if they went animated, at that point you got to go with D. Bradley Baker.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know that it makes much sense if you're going to do an animated Rex to go back to Tamara Morrison. Unless it's a completely stylistically totally different from Rebels, then fine. But if you're doing it Rebels style, like if they do like a Rebels
movie, that
universe, if they do a Rebels movie in the same style that Filoni's doing right now, you got to go with D. Bradley Baker.
Excuse me.
You okay over there?
Yeah, I'm just choking on my beer.
What kind of beer is this?
What am I drinking? Yeah, Keys. Always the Keys.
Back to Keys, huh?
But I heard today that supposedly Pablo Hidalgo hinted toward the next announcement for the next animation being at Celebration in 2019. Which is quite a ways off.
Yeah, I mean, that's 7 months from now. No, 2019. Jeez,
Yeah.
that's wow. Okay, that's like 19, 20 months off.
Yeah, so after this show's over, after Rebels is done, like aside from I guess Forces of Destiny and stuff like that, we'll be on a bit of a hiatus.
That's unfortunate, man. I don't like that. I like having my Star Wars animation fix. So
Yeah,
good.
me too.
So good. Okay, but we're all thumbs up. Is there anybody who's not like a big thumbs up to having Tamora Morrison back as Rex?
I love it. Like I said, as long as it works if they have a great role for him in the movie and it makes sense, and James is gonna laugh, but if it doesn't feel forced, like just to satisfy fandom, like fan service, then yeah, I could see it making total sense. Again, like it would make sense for him to help maybe Obi-Wan out in whatever he's doing, or I don't know. But there's a lot of things to think about there, like because then after he's part of the rebellion.
Maybe it could be as simple as bringing Siege of Mandalore to the big screen. Maybe not necessarily a big screen, but that could be pretty cool. Get Darth Maul back on screen. Maul versus Ahsoka. Get Rex in that picture. I think that could. What am I thinking? They wouldn't do that.
No, they wouldn't do that.
No.
It's already been done, man.
Well, it's not even really been done. I mean, the outline for the story is out there, and it's alluded to in the Ahsoka novel, but yeah, no, I don't know what I'm thinking. Guys, people have to realize I'm on about 2 hours sleep. It's not been a great weekend. I'm a little punchy. Okay, so let's move on. Warwick Davis, his role in the Han Solo movie sounds bonkers. Bonkers, man. What the hell? Gonkers. Yes, thank you for correcting me. So MSW had the report, and it's totally insane. He's going to be playing a type of power droid, so picture our good old Gonk, but instead of arms, you replace them with saws, like chainsaws, buzz saws. What the hell is this, Corey?
He's a fighter droid, no? A power...
Was it Fight Droid 2 he was called?
Yeah. Which begs the question, where's one? But
yeah, that's what they said in the report, right?
Warwick Davis, this guy, come on, like he's like a legacy in Star Wars now. I'm so glad that they're giving him like role after role. Like, he landed Rook cast on Rebels, and now this. It's awesome, man. I want to keep him coming, man. I hope he's in episode 9.
Well, he's going to be in everything. I mean, at this point, until he can't do it anymore, he's going to be in everything.
I hope so. But yeah, it's different looking. It's not as short and stubby and gonky as a regular gonk, I guess. But it looks like it's going to be awesome. I think Matt Keegan was not impressed, but I mean, we've got to be a little open minded here, Matt.
I thought he was. I thought he was happy to see this.
No, he said it was like fake news. I think he said it was too tall.
Well, I think the picture they had in the MSW report is not the actual thing from the Han Solo movie. I think it's just because that's just a gonk droid. There's no saws for arms there.
No, that's true. You're right.
I think that is a droid from Tatooine, just in a background shot. I could be wrong. Yeah, to me,
it could be like a comedic relief almost. Like, oh, it's just a gonk droid. Like, and then it's like, oh my god. Like,
yeah,
it's like a tank. It's the immovable object.
Well, you know what it reminds me of? You've seen Big Hero 6?
Yeah.
Remember the very, very first scene of the movie is those little battle bots?
Mm-hmm.
I picture it being something out of that. I mean, obviously, Big Hero 6, they were just little toys. But this, it reminds me of that kind of like savage droid. And Star Wars droids are getting a little bit more savage. On the comic book side, you got BT and 000, who are both homicidal maniacs.
Yeah,
very cartoonish, very slapstick violent. This could fit right into that. I'd like to see that. Maybe Phoebe Waller-Bridge, maybe her rumored role as a droid gets to take this thing on. It could.
Yeah, it's possible.
You never know.
Yeah, it's true. Imagine a gonk moving faster than regular gonk speed. That'd be pretty...
I mean, its feet are pretty much tied together. How can it move at all?
Yeah, seriously.
Someone's got to explain this to me. But anyway, I can't wait to see this thing.
Yeah, this thing's like loaded, supposedly.
Like I said in the MSW article, it's like, this thing is absurd, yet it's so Star Wars, and I love it. It's going to be so cool. Okay, so sticking with the we got a lot of Han Solo stuff to talk about today. Not so much the other stuff cooking. But
that's okay.
It is okay. It is okay. I'm totally okay with that. Okay, so Ron Howard, doing Ron Howard things, teased maybe the most revealing Twitter photo yet in Spicy? ?
I love that.
I mean, if that's not what we all think it is, shame on Ron Howard, right?
Yeah, that would be a total, like, it's got to be the spice mine of Kessel. It has to be.
Like, that totally looked like the entryway to a mine shaft, did it not?
100%.
Which means, well, it looks an awful lot like we are going to Kessel, which a lot of people theorized anyway. That's figured, like, that's something that's got to be in this. So are we going to see the Kessel run?
That's the big question, isn't it? And that's another thing. We talked about this, I guess, like everyone else. But I mean, this movie, man, you have all these cool storylines. But with this one, at least, you know, just touching back, you got Chewie's origin, the Lando story, possible Boba Fett. But at least with the Kessel run, if you do put that into a place or whatever, you can get a little backstory to possibly what happened with Jabba as well. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So you get the two stories in one there. So it makes perfect sense to play it from that angle, to have it. But I love the idea. The way I think the Kessel run going down, like, you have to see it too. Like, that's what we're all speculating now. Yes, I do believe that we're going to see it. And it's done in less than 12 seconds. And the way Han...
12 seconds?
That's parsecs, sorry.
Come on, man. Parsecs, kid.
Less than 12 parsecs. But anyhow, he's talking to Luke, right? And he's hustling Luke. Like, you never heard of the Falcon? Like, it's so funny. He's the naive farm boy. And then Obi-Wan's hustling everyone, and then Han thinks he's got him. Like, hey, Chewie, he's got this geezer and this farm boy, man. Like, we're gonna take him for a ride. Blah blah blah. You know, Obi-Wan's just cool. But the way I see the Kessel run going down is it's gonna be maybe even the first time we hear someone telling Han the odds, and he's gonna say, "Don't tell me the odds." It's like a 1 in a million. Like, he's gonna do something really stupid. It's like really dangerous. He's going to fly like too close to a black hole or a star cluster to get away from whatever he's doing. And their survival is a complete fluke. It's all luck by the end. That's the way I see it in my headcanon right now. So when they get through it and they live, it's like going to be a complete elation moment where they're just like, I can't believe we actually lived. Like, we're that stupid, you know? But when you see him later on in life, he plays it off like he was this, like, he's the man, like this superhero, you know, like, who did the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs, you know? I really see it going
almost
down.
right there with you. I'm almost right there with you. I think, yes, that it would be them doing the Kessel run in 12 parsecs could be a complete fluke. But I think Han would always play it off, even in this movie, as I totally meant to do that. And then he would always just pretend that was him. Because I saw this going around on Twitter. He never personally claims credit for being the one who did it. He just talks about the Falcon as being the ship that did it. He never says he was the pilot. Which is kind of weird. It's almost tinfoil hat-ish to think that Han didn't do the Kessel run. But I personally believe Han did do it. If you fast forward to I think the Han Solo miniseries from Marvel, and then even further into Bloodline, like, Han is taking part in races in both. I just got to believe that Han is a great racer.
Yeah, 100%. And he's going to take the only reason he can make it in that short of time, and it's a big surprise when anyone hears that, if they know what the Kessel run is, it's because there's probably some dangerous space anomalies out there that they can't fly too close to or stuff like that. That's the only way I can see it. And he's going to cut it dangerously close, where you possibly see something like that episode of Rebels, Legends of the Lasat, where it's Kevin Kiner, there's the Into the Star Cluster playing.
Yep.
And they manage to get in there, and the TIE fighters just kind of disintegrate. All right, so yeah. Anyway, that's the way I see it. I think it's going to be amazing. I definitely think we're going to see it because there's been a lot of speculation as well, saying like, did he really do it in less than 12, or was it more like 14, and he's just like, extending the truth, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it works either way.
I really want to see him do it in less than 12, to be honest, but I want it to be like, not something like, I know what I'm doing here. Like, he kind of knows what he's doing, but he's taking a really calculated, dangerous risk that, again, is like a 1 in a million shot.
Well, I mean, at this stage in his life, he'd be super young, so any talent he has at piloting would probably be very raw talent. So you just want to see him just kind of pushing his own limits, pushing the limits of the ship beyond what it's meant for. I can picture Lando sitting in the co-pilot's chair just... No. What are you doing?
I think everyone's going to be like, no, that's... And you're just going to be like, punch it, Chewie.
Yeah, you just want to see Han do some ridiculous things with the Falcon. The only danger I have... Well, the only concern I have is I love the asteroid field sequence in Empire so much. Like, that is Han's crowning achievement in Star Wars as far as piloting the Falcon goes. I don't want to see that kind of dethroned. You know what I mean?
No. I want to see more Han piloting.
Yeah,
anytime we get to see the Falcon in space, or like just ripping around.
Yeah, that's
especially
true.
with him at the helm.
I mean, I flailed like a fanboy when Rey piloted the Falcon through the junkyard on Jakku. All right, fine, okay.
Yeah, she had some pretty interesting moves. Now with the modern day technology, let's see what Han can really do with the Falcon.
Yeah, it's nice to see the Falcon completely unchained like that.
Oh yeah, unchained. It's just that one shot you can always come back to is just the 360 spin, like with the TIE fighters. Like, that's intense. Like you almost feel glued to your seat when you see that in the theater.
Oh yeah, like Candace watched that shot on a big screen, and she was like, I that gave me motion sickness. Like that was a great shot.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to say about the Kessel Run? I think it's almost a lock to say that he did do it, right? Or that sorry, a lock that we're going to see it.
It's a lock, but we've discussed the 12 parsecs thing, but what really I've speculated that maybe again you can kill two birds with one stone here with the whole Jabba and him smuggling spice, or there's another angle to play here. What do you think? Is it smuggling spice, or is he possibly going back to free slaves or something for Chewie? Because that's been a long rumored thing where, Wookiees kind of got sent to the spice moons of Kessel to mine spice and die in great numbers and stuff. So maybe Han's doing him a solid, taking him back maybe toward the end. And, that way you can kill like 3 birds with one stone. You could still, I don't know, lose the shipment or ditch Jabba's cargo, whatever it is, and get away.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it could be all of those things. I just hope they don't, tick every box. Everything that was referenced in A New Hope about the 12 parsecs and dumping shipments at the first sign of Imperial ships. I hope they don't reference directly every single one of those lines. Like I think that's a bit much.
Maybe not every one of them, but I think they're going to go back to a lot of stuff.
I think so, and that kind of scares me a little bit. Just always winking back at the fans. Okay, like we get it. We just carry on with your story, please. That's more important.
Okay, well, now that Rogue One's passed, we've got one standalone film right now, and it was speculated will R2 and 3PO be in it. It's tied closely to the Rebellion, so yes, there was a lot of speculation saying yes. So what do you think about this film? Like, are they just going to continue that long-standing tradition and just flow with that?
I don't see how they can. Like, that's too much shoehorning. I see it as way too far. Like, Han is not at all aligned with the Rebellion. Even in A New Hope, he's completely derisive about the Rebellion. And depending on where, well, yeah, I mean, these C-3PO and R2 are with the Rebellion. Now, unless they divert them somewhere else just to make them cross paths again, which is another, that's shoehorning again. We got to get R2 and 3PO in there.
No, at this point it would be, but I mean, the fact that they did it in Rogue One just for that one split second kind of leads me to believe that they might do another thing like that.
I don't know how they make that work. Again, I don't know that the rebellion has a role in this movie at all, other than maybe being mentioned here or there. And Han Solo rolling his eyes at this group of dopes trying to take down the Empire.
Man, I kind of agree with you. I don't think we're going to see much rebellion in this at all. But who knows? Just R2 and 3PO, man. That's a big question. We should throw a poll out on that one.
Go for it.
Yeah, survey says.
Okay, so from one big wink at the fans to another, another report, this one's starting to pick up steam, that Vader is going to have a cameo in Han Solo. I think this is an awful idea. We haven't spoken about this at all. What do you think?
I don't have a good feeling about this. I have a bad feeling about this.
And wait, until we see it, right? And we go, oh my god, it's so cool.
No, like I think it really made sense in Rogue One.
Yeah, of course it did.
But in this movie, it makes absolutely no sense to me. Not even to have him in a small cameo, like a small smidgen of a role. I really don't think it's a good idea.
Like, not even like, let's say we start this movie with Han as an 18-year-old in the Imperial Academy, and they're all sort of lining up in formation, and you see Lord Vader like stroll past, and Han just kind of looks at him like, who's this guy? Like, not even that. Even that is just kind of too much, right? Cut the umbilical already. We don't need this.
Yeah, we definitely don't need Vader in this film. There's no way I could see that working. Like, oh man, just that would really feel like too much fan service, or I don't know what they'd be trying to do with that. Like, even I'm getting the impression that this movie is going to take place for the most part in the Outer Rim areas. A lot of it, Vader has no business there, you know. Like, if he's chasing Death Star plans, maybe, but
yeah, but Han's not involved with this stuff. Like, Han is involved with spice running and other petty crimes, right?
Exactly. There's slavery and stuff like that is not a main concern of the Vader,
Empire's
anyhow.
the Empire's biggest enforcer. Maybe
if, you know, they lose 2 Star Destroyers or something like that chasing him on the Kessel Run, you know what I mean? Like, if those Star Destroyers get zapped in the meantime, maybe it's like a message to Vader or something. But even at that, we don't need to see that.
We don't need it.
Even if it's holographic, like,
don't need it. Don't need it at all. Like, if Lucasfilm doesn't trust the entire concept of standalone movies, and if they need these other foundational characters to generate buzz and excitement, and, you know, if Han Solo can't stand in his own film on his own 2 feet, don't do the movie. As crazy it is to say, don't do a movie if you can't do it without bringing in the big marketing piece of Darth Vader, or, you know, whichever character you want to consider as being a big marketing guy. Don't do it if you can't build a character arc in a movie without involving the others. It doesn't make sense.
No, especially this character. Like, leave it alone. You know, like, we have R2 and 3PO, like I said, to have a cameo or something in this movie that I'd be okay with. You know, that's kind of a long-standing tradition, but, you know, to have Vader in this film, really, just really, like you said, shoehorning. But I got a question for you, but I think I already know the answer. Between A New Hope and Empire, how many does Han have any direct encounters with Vader?
Between Empire and
between A New Hope and Empire.
Well, they're in the same place in the first arc of the Star Wars comic.
Yeah, I think I remember that. And Chewie's trying to assassinate him or something.
Yeah. Chewie's got him in his sights or something like that.
But I'm thinking, does Han even know this is kind of a joke there, but Han's reaction to him on Cloud City, it could have been like all these years, like Luke and Leia telling Han, like, oh man, this Darth Vader dude, you don't understand, he's badass. And then like he's like, yeah, whatever. Like, I've seen badass. And the doors open to that restaurant or whatever, that dining room, and Han's like, oh shit, you mean this guy? I've seen, like, you know, just pulls out his gun and starts wailing on him because, oh yeah, I've seen him once before.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe Han witnesses Vader choke out a cadet or a dopey officer. You know, in that prologue scene that I was alluding to a while ago. But still, unnecessary.
Yeah. Even the breathing, his voice, any of it.
Any of it.
Hologram.
Don't need any of it. Again, I say that, and if we see Vader, we're all going to just squeal.
Not necessarily, bro. And like I said, like you were saying too, this seems to be coming from somewhat of a pretty reputable source.
Yeah, no, it's something it's picking up steam. Anyway, I just find it cheapens Vader to be involved in whatever Han's involved in, if that's the case. Like, Vader should be far away from petty thugs.
The only way I could see it reaching Vader is, you know, Han being such a Sith disturber and just tearing up so much stuff in the galaxy in this one chain of events that gets set off in this film. And, like, you know, some shit hits the fan, and like I said, like maybe 2 Star Destroyers go down, and you know, at that point, that's a lot of damage. Like one of the upper management needs to be called at that point, you know?
Do they?
Yeah, I think when, you know, if 2 Star Destroyers go down, I think, like, you know, Grand Moff Tarkin's getting a call. Maybe Vader's there with him.
I guess, but still.
I don't want to see it, don't get me wrong, but it's like one of the only scenarios I could see. It's not like I'm like Vader's gonna be like, young Solo, I'll have my eye on you. Like, it's not gonna work.
No, I hear you. Oh God. Anyway, let us pray. We don't need Vader. Does anybody out there want Vader? Like, no, here's how it works. Here's how and why this is a super cool idea. I'm all ears. Let me have it.
Yeah, and you would think, come on, like, the writers, Ron Howard, Kathleen Kennedy, like, you would think at this point, even Lawrence Kasdan, having written the script, like, you think they know at this point, like, unless it really somehow fits the film perfectly, which, in my mind, I can't fathom at the moment. Again, it just feels forced.
Stop doing that. All right, so we're 2 big no's on this one.
Yeah.
I think most people are at this point are kind of a no. But again, if anybody listening is a yes, I would love to hear it. Okay, that's it for the news. Did we blow through that quick enough? I don't know.
That was pretty quick.
Well, maybe for us.
Well, and again, nothing too meaty there either. Like, there was some good stuff, but
well, we may have talked 40 minutes about nothing then. All right, let's break into, I guess, what we usually call the binary sunset, although I think it's going to be a full day there. So let's take a little break, you and I, and then when we come back, the next voice that we're going to hear is that of ads, and then we'll get through some awesome listener questions.
Woo!
Evening, boys. Episode 94. High fives all round. So, my question this week concerns the trailer for The Last Jedi, due to drop any day now. I put on Twitter the other day a poll suggesting that they might even just put the crawl for the new film, and what people thought about that. So, what do you think will be in that trailer, and what would you like to be in that trailer? So kick that round for a bit. Just the one question this week. I'll enjoy listening to the show as always, and had a thoroughly good time, Kyle, on the latest new Powerful Friends podcast. So anyone who's heard it, anyone thinking of doing it, really good fun. I'd recommend it. Okay, take care. Bye.
And there goes ads once again. Ads, thank you, sir, for the kind words, the very kind words on Worthy of Recognition. I had an absolute blast finally getting to speak to you. And I can't wait to get to everyone else in the Powerful Friends program and beyond.
It was fun, man. It was a fun episode to listen to. It was cool to hear your experiences, ads. You're the man. I love you, brother.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of fun to be had in this Worthy of Recognition. Can't wait to get to more people from our little community. So anyway, Corey, let's talk about this upcoming The Last Jedi trailer, whenever it may drop. I guess it's a bit of a two-pronged question. So what do you think will be in The Last Jedi trailer? It's a sort of a overarching question, but have at it.
I think they might, it's going to be at least, I'd say a good 60 to 75% footage we've already seen, maybe just done in a different way.
Oh, you think so? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen a lot already. I don't know how much more they're actually going to give us. So yeah, I think, again, like, I'll say like maybe 50% we've seen before. But I definitely, for things I want to see or things that I think are coming, it's hard to say really. Like, I definitely want to see Leia say something in a trailer. That'd be cool. Anything more Leia would be awesome.
Well, that's it, right? I mean, considering the circumstances of where we are they sticking to a formula? Is there sort of a thematic narrative running through the trailers? Think back to the Force Awakens trailer. I mean, it didn't tell us nothing about the movie. It told us zero about the plotline of the movie. It just had Luke doing old recycled lines from Return of the Jedi, right? And then it had Maz doing some narration to Rey, which I think was some of it eventually cut, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. That's what I'm wondering almost in this film. If I kind of get the impression that what we're seeing in the trailer, for the most part, a lot of it we're going to be seeing on screen.
I think so, but still, we don't know the context to almost any of these shots. Oh, yeah, battle here, chase there, but you don't know where they slot in the movie. You don't know what's going. Like, we don't know what's going on. We don't know anything.
No, I
about
like
the
it
plot.
like that.
Yeah, absolutely,
like that. Of
course. So I don't expect this next trailer to tell us much of anything at all. Like I said, more visuals, which will be fantastic to pour over.
Brief glimpses, a lot of flashes of stuff going on.
Well, yeah, I think it'll be like, slow for the first minute and a half, and then it'll pick up speed, and it's like a lot of quick cut shots.
Yeah, crescendo in the orchestra.
Yeah, and we'll get maybe some nebulous dialogue again that may or may not be part of the movie. Will they have some more old school Luke narration? Will they do more Maz talking to Rey? I would like to hear that. I really enjoyed that. I think Maz is a very good character to do that with. But going back to your point about Leia, I wonder if they kind of wrap something special up for that, considering what's happened, the tragedy around Carrie Fisher. Could they do?
I'd put money on it.
You would, eh?
Yep.
I'm not going to take that bet because I think it's also a possibility. Like a Han and Leia focused trailer. Just something that gives you the impression, like we've been hearing, that Han's absence will echo through this movie and have an impact. I wouldn't mind if they alluded to that in the trailer. That'd be kind of cool. Using footage and dialogue from Leia. I think I'd like to see that. Well,
she got the ending of the behind the scenes sizzle reel.
The thing about being family, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice. Some key voiceovers from legacy characters. I wonder if they could even somehow fold in some Han dialogues. Like, technically, we haven't heard the last of Han yet. Maybe he gets worked into the trailer somehow, like Harrison Ford dialogue. Not new stuff, old stuff. Like, you could reach all the way back to the OT for it if you wanted.
I can't remember what interview it was on or whatever. It was a magazine or a late night circuit or whatever, but someone said, like, would you do another Star Wars? And he was kind of just like, well, I don't really see how that's possible, but it's science fiction, so yeah, you never know.
He's done. It's over.
Oh, yeah, it's over.
We all love Harrison Ford to death, but it's over. Like, we don't need to see Han Solo again.
No, like you said, maybe voice work, but other than that, we're getting a whole movie about him, so...
Yeah, I mean, I still maintain that I think we're going to get more Han Solo from now going forward than we've had in the past 40 years. I think for a generation of kids that are, my kids, of course, for now, Harrison Ford is their Han Solo, but if Alden Ehrenreich sticks around for a while here, their image of Han is not going to be Harrison Ford necessarily. And we have to get used to the idea of a bunch of kids in the years to come where when they think of Han, they don't think of Harrison Ford, which we think is blasphemous. But it's going to happen. So something else I want from the trailer, I want them to continue holding out on Luke. Like we got some Luke narration in the first trailer, right? Telling Rey to breathe, just breathe. There's so much more, and of course, it's time for the Jedi to end. That's okay.
Yeah, that was a big one. Yeah.
I mean, specifically, I want them to hold out on Luke in action. I don't want to see Luke in action in the trailer at all.
I got you there. I think that would be a smart move. I think they've played the long game thus far in regards to the toys, even if that's like a surprise or if he doesn't have his saber, whatever it is. You know, it's funny. I have this in my show notes, but I have it scratched out as well. Like one of the first things to come to mind is ignite the green. But that would be a cool way to end the trailer. But I mean, come on, at this point, save it for the movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're less than 3 months out. Don't spoil that now. Don't allude to it. Don't show it. Don't give us an echo of a lightsaber igniting in the background. Don't tease it at all. Pretend it's not there. Like I want the full glory of Luke returning to action to hit me square between the eyes on December 15th.
I agree with you 100% there, but that doesn't necessarily mean that in this trailer that I have this written down. Like I would like to see some saber ignition and possible brief, jittery glimpses of some saber battle. Not with Luke and anyone, but possibly Rey. But you know, it's just going to be so fast and furious that you're not even going to know who's fighting.
I don't know if they're going to show us Rey versus Kylo 2.0, assuming that's in the cards, if that's actually, done. And I guess we should mention that The Last Jedi is in the can. Ryan Johnson tweeted that out, Instagrammed that last week. So the movie's done. Thing. 3 months to go. Great. I mean,
he did a great job on that, man. Like he's ahead of schedule a bit, and dude, they're happy with the product. Everyone's give the thumbs up. So
plenty of time to spare. Holy smokes! Like I can't remember a smoother production. This just seemed to go so smoothly. Anyway, let's not tangent on that. Where were we talking about Luke?
Well, just basically like what we're looking forward to or what we want to see. And we were talking about possible saber battle.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think they're going to show us Rey versus Kylo 2.0. I think if we saw anything clashing, it would be Rey's saber against like the Praetorian Guard, maybe the Knights of Ren. I don't know. I don't think they're going to give us the main event in the trailer. I think this trailer is going to just leave our heads spinning again with great visuals and lots of speculation, but not knowing what's happening in the movie. And that's what I want.
And that's the way I like it too, man. Like it's better like that. Can't linger on something too much. Let people. There's so many trailers out there that really do spoil the whole movie, and that's really sad. Like you've seen the movie basically by watching the trailer.
Oh, they're not going to do that.
No, they never do, and I'm really looking forward to this one. Like I don't think there's going to be anything too spoilery.
I don't think so. I mean, given the way Ryan Johnson has come out and said, "Oh, don't spoil the movie. Go in fresh. Don't watch anything else." I got to think. I mean, he has no control over the trailers, how it's cut, when it comes out. He has no say in that. But I got to imagine that Lucasfilm knows. Just tease the fans. Just give them some cool stuff to look at. And we'll make our own content.
Involved in the trailers.
What's that?
I would think he's involved in the trailers.
I don't think he has.
Production of the trailer.
I don't think. That stuff gets farmed out. Someone else cuts all that stuff together. I don't think he has any say.
I'm pretty sure he helps choose scenes from the film.
Maybe. I mean, I guess input would go from him through Lucasfilm, and then whoever's from Lucasfilm to whatever firm is cutting together the footage for the trailer. But I don't think he has any direct say over what's in it and what when it comes out. And that's why it's so annoying for people when he Instagrammed and then tweeted that the movie was wrapped, and then he just got thousands of give me a trailer. Like, leave him alone.
Lola.
Leave him alone. God. Bloodhounds, vultures.
Well, just touching back on something you said earlier, Kyle, the narration thing. I really like that. It could be Maz, it could be Luke, Leia. Like, I definitely want to hear Luke say a little more than it's time for the Jedi to end. It'd even be cool to get a little tidbit from Snoke as well. Like, even if it's just laughing or something,
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta imagine they would want to throw in a couple Snoke lines. At least one.
Yeah, a nice little cackle.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it all boils down to, do they want to just stick with the formula like they did with The Force Awakens, just voiceover, slow build, then to a quick cut montage of stuff to music that is not John Williams, and then end on something dramatic? Or like I said, do they want to focus on events from the last movie, or focus on Leia because we've all still got the feels for Carrie Fisher? It really depends on how they want to spin this.
Well, one last thing too is that I'd really like to see. I know we've seen a lot of flying on the ground with these skimmers or whatever they are, but I'd like to see some more space battle stuff. We haven't seen too much in the trailers of that thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see some more free-flowing space action. That's something I really missed from TFA.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd like to see another large-scale, tension-filled battle sequence in space. I'd love to see that.
We haven't seen a good battle like that since Return of the Jedi, I think. Like, granted, Return of the Sith was just an epic intro to a movie, but you don't really get the handle of it. You know what I mean? Like, so much is happening in that scene with those bunch of vulture droids, or those buzzer droids that kind of like latch onto a ship, and then they get onto the bigger ship after. So it's all happening so quickly, but you see the scale of that battle. Now, to be able to play in that at a close-up level, man, I want to see some dogfighting like that.
Yeah, that scene on Coruscant, above Coruscant, is one of the scenes that Lucas kind of gets made fun of in mainstream circles for, where just adding more to cram more action to the shot, make more things happen everywhere. Like that. Again, that's one of my favorite shots, when Anakin and Obi-Wan kind of roll over the hull of the Republic attack cruiser, and you see like the huge spread of what's going on. I love that shot, but it is one of the things that George went crazy with.
Isn't that where Tartakovsky's Clone Wars ends and Return of the Sith begins?
Yeah, Tartakovsky's ends with he kind of put it right. Yeah, he butted the two things right together. So yeah, they get word of Palpatine being kidnapped, or that there's like a siege on Coruscant, and then Anakin and Obi-Wan take off. And of course, right before that, Windu crushes part of Grievous's ribcage and gives him that asthmatic cough. Yeah, Tartakovsky shoved it right in there. All right, did we just tangent out from the Last Jedi trailer?
A little bit.
Talking about Tartakovsky Clone Wars when we're supposed to be talking The Last Jedi. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, no, I think we kind of outlined it, what we want. I want a lot of visuals, but I don't want any plot. Just
agreed.
Keep me in the dark. That's it.
Even lie to me if you have to. I'm good with it.
Well, yeah, like we said with the Rogue One trailer, you can put in footage of stuff that gets cut. I don't care. Just give me the tone, the vibe. Give me a taste. I don't care if you show me all stuff that is eventually not in the film. Okay, ads.
I'm stoked for it, though.
Yeah, oh, jeez. My God, are you kidding me? Where are we at? And you're like, are we down to like the low 80s now? I usually know this right off the top of my head, but I don't, so.
I think I'm going to say when this airs, we're going to be at 80 on the dot.
80-ish.
Or
We'll leave
maybe
it at that.
Yeah, 79 maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, okay, guys, let us know what you want to see in this trailer. I want to see a lot, but I don't want to see anything. There's a tightrope act. Want to hear what you guys think. Okay, ads. Thank you, sir. Wonderful questions again this week, and looking forward to ads edition again next week. All right, on to Bradley banter from deep in the heart of Texas. Hello, Kyle and Corey. I hope the two of you, along with all your listeners, have had a wonderful week. Here in the Lone Star State, all is well, but summer has decided to come back, which I'm not pleased about. It's back in the mid-90s and muggy. We have a cold front coming, but it can't get here fast enough. That aside, we are less than 3 months away from an awesome Star Wars movie, and I can sense the Force is strong with this one. My gut feeling is The Last Jedi is going to be really good. I don't know why I feel this way, I just do. I don't know if it's the prospects of finding out who Rey is, or who her parents are, or seeing Luke back in action. That has me feeling this way. I can't quite put my finger on it. So for my first question, do you guys have the same feeling, or is it just me channeling my inner Jedi and becoming one with the Force? All right, let's stop there, Corey. Do you have a very simple question? Do you have I think we just answered it, right? Do we have the same feeling about The Last Jedi?
100%, Bradley. Like, we've said this for a long time. There's something about Ryan's smile, or something about the collaborative nature of what he's done, how everyone's so pleased with what he's done, the speculation surrounding it, how everything went so smoothly. I can't really put my finger on it either, but I really do believe that we're in for a treat, and it's going to be a special film, one for the ages, man. And we're going to be really lucky to partake in this, man, because me too, I can't explain it, but I have an amazing feeling about this film.
Yeah, obviously I am very, very excited for this film. But I think, I don't know that we're all going to walk away from this movie smiling ear to ear. I think this is going to be a polarizing movie. And we said this way back, that it was back even like early on when the three of us, Corey, first got together, that this movie is going to challenge us as viewers, and it's going to make a bunch of us uncomfortable. And James had been on record as saying, "Yeah, I don't really want things to change. I don't want the Jedi to go away." And I don't know if they will or they won't, but I think we're going to be presented with some things that we aren't going to necessarily like. I think this movie is going to take some time to be digested. And again, I'm super stoked. I have a great feeling about the long-term legacy of this movie. Short-term, I think it's going to irk a lot of people in several ways. But I think as it ages, I think we're going to, and obviously sequels will come out and things will spin off out of The Last Jedi and the train tracks that Rian Johnson's put down. But I think off the hop, there's going to be we're going to have, of course, this, being the age of social media, we're going to have two polarized camps. One that is going to say it's incredible, the best Star Wars story ever told. And there's going to be others saying this was too much of a departure. And there's, at some point down the line, there will be, I guess, people meeting in the middle at some point. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page as you there. I really do believe that this is going to be the Empire of our day and age. Like,
again, it bears repeating. Empire was not super well received back in the day.
Yeah, that's fine, but it is now. Like you said, you might need time to take a little, you marinate on it a bit, let it simmer. And yeah, it's going to shake things up, and I think we're all kind of expecting that, and I'm personally looking forward to that. They need to shake things up, like they're moving forward with this saga, like things need to happen, things need to change for them to be able to tell the story. It's all how they do it and remain true to what we as fans know as well. But I just believe that there's a lot of room on the table, knowing the length and history of the Jedi, like that period of time. I've always said that there's so much room for interpretation there, that things don't need to change all that much, but we can have a new vision of balance and stuff like that. So we're you said it, Kyle, like it can cause a really big division within fandom, and I think there's going to be a lot of knee-jerk reactions right off the bat as well. But whatever. I mean, you got to take it in stride. We're going to see what happens, and I'm sure even us, we're going to have some pretty heated opinions when it's done. But again, I look forward to it, man. I mean, that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm going to sound like beating a dead horse here, broken record. I've called this movie the fork in the road for Star Wars, where it can go down the air quotes predictable path. Not that that's necessarily bad, or it can take the other path and be completely different and set us down a new path of storytelling. And I think it's going down the new path. And this is where I would preach caution to everybody. And this is almost like the prequel era thing again, where people wanted new and they wanted like some cool stuff, and then George Lucas gave you 3 movies in the prequels, and everybody went nuts because it wasn't what they expected. So it could be more the same here. You want to be challenged as viewers. You want different. You might get it here, but don't complain if it's not what you want. Like being new, being different, but yet be the same. It doesn't compute. So just be careful. And I would preach caution to fans who are expecting to walk out of the theater high-fiving their buddies saying, that was so exciting, the best movie ever. What a ride. I don't know. I don't know.
The older you get, you know, like I had some knee-jerk reactions. I was 18 years old when The Phantom Menace came out, and I was kind of like, you know, what the heck? Like, what did we just see?
Yeah, because it wasn't.
I enjoyed it.
It wasn't what you
knew
remembered from it as being a kid.
No, it was extremely different, and you know, looking back on it now, I have a very different opinion. But you know, it's all circumstantial, and I just think we're well aware enough now, like having been doing this podcast for like 2 years now. I just think we're steeped in this enough to be able to appreciate whatever it is that we're going to see. We're going to either really, it's possible we won't like it, but whatever it is, I think we'll be able to understand the why and what they're doing either way, and not like get all crazy about it, you know?
Ooh, I don't know. It sounds like Rian Johnson's also weaving in plenty of ambiguity. So he might be taking us down this unknown path and not explain it at all. Like we might be just screaming at each other going, why is this happening? This doesn't make any sense. What a stupid choice. I expect there's going to be a lot of that.
He's going to be like, tag, you're it, JJ.
Well, and that's the other thing, right? Like, would JJ have said yes if he didn't think he could wrap this up in a satisfactory way?
Oh, no way. Come on. He knows what Ryan's up to. He's seen the film. Like, if the film's done filming and it's all edited and nicely polished and a nice little package and everything's done, then JJ saw this film already. Even though it maybe wasn't as nice as it is now, he saw the film in its completion and the vibe. He got everything before saying yes.
Yeah, I mean, and again, unless they offered him so much money that he could not possibly turn it down, he's back because he thinks he can knock it out of the park.
I have to agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise he would have said, like, no, this is weird, man. God. Find somebody else.
He's probably been thinking about this forever, too.
What's that?
He's probably been thinking about this forever, too, you know, with, like, everything that's gone on with Leia, like, or Carrie Fisher, excuse me, like, I'm sure his mind started spinning, too, and, like, oh, like, what's going to happen to the franchise, you know? Like, it's a big thing for him as well, you know? So I'm sure he's sat there many a night and just kind of pondered and made his own little Star Wars scenarios in his own head as well.
Absolutely. I mean, if we do it, then I'm sure J.J. Abrams does it as well. Being a guy who knows exactly how he would do that.
Yeah, and getting paid millions and gazillions of dollars for it.
Anyway, so I would just say take a lump of caution with your 2 lumps of sugar when it comes to anticipation of The Last Jedi. I don't want to dampen it. I don't want to say it's going to be a bad movie. I'm just saying it's going to be something that leaves us, I think, scratching our heads. Anyway, I'm getting too rambly.
Well, put it this way, like we've heard that, you know, even though it's the middle in a trilogy, it seems a bit almost self-contained again, like almost a whole its own film that can wrap itself up and tell its own story. But I know what you say about the ambiguity and the moving forward with episode 9, but I don't know. Like, I'm just really looking forward to this, and I'm really looking forward to seeing now, like, how we're going to react after the movie, you know?
Yeah, I think we're going to have an awful lot of stuff to talk about. And it's probably going to start as soon as the trailer drops. Okay, so let's go on to Bradley's second question. For my second question, with who and how do you plan on viewing The Last Jedi? For myself, I plan on seeing it with my family, along with a few friends and several other families. Bradley, you don't want to come to Montreal? Well, I'll get a ticket for you. You know, it won't be hot.
I guarantee you.
It will not be in the mid-90s.
I don't think I'm ever going to stop complaining about this, but my God, last year when we went to go see Rogue One, it was like, seriously, like, your tauntaun's not going to make the first marker. It was that bad, bro.
It was, such bitter cold I thought my head was going to shrink. Anyway, I typically buy a dozen or so tickets. Wow. And whoever can commit is in. I always buy tickets for the first showing and for a second showing the next day. It's always better with all your Star Wars friends. Back in the day, my buddy Mike and I would go see it at midnight first, and then my wife would join us for a second showing at a more reasonable time the next day. Also, weeks leading up to a Star Wars film, I stay away from anything I feel might spoil the movie for me. That's fair enough. Okay, Corey, question 2. I guess we can answer this one together, but with who and how do you plan on viewing The Last Jedi?
Well, we have a long-standing tradition here in the Tumbling Saber House where brother and brother, we've been to every premiere since The Phantom Menace together, so that's where it's going to start.
Although we did not necessarily sit together.
No, but
we've been physically in the same place.
Yes.
No, let's keep it confined to this new era. Since we've been podcasters, The Force Awakens and Rogue One.
Well, yeah, I mean, The Force Awakens and Rogue One have been amazing. The Force Awakens, we went with James.
Yeah. James, Carlos.
No, Carlos wasn't there for The Force Awakens. Tony was there.
Yeah. Our Bob Sacamano.
Called an ambulance.
A coworker of mine was there. The guy who bought the Giganto Lego set.
Yeah, true.
But
the next time when we went to go see Rogue One, it was Kyle, myself, Carlos, James, our good friend Eric.
Powerful friend Eric, that's right. Shout out, Eric. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, you the man, Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
But I hear
largely the same
that
group.
Mr.
Yeah, I mean, just to spit it out. Yeah, what we do, Bradley, is we go out for dinner. I used to be like hellbent as a kid. You know, when the prequels came out and when the special editions came out. If there was a midnight showing and a 12:05 viewing, although they're just 5 minutes apart, it was life and death that I be at the midnight showing. The 12:05 just was not acceptable. Unacceptable to be 5 minutes late. But now, a little bit older, priority shift. I prefer to take my time, go have a dinner with my friends, and we'll see the second showing. If there's a 9:30 or 10 o'clock show, that's where I will be. Although I expect again to be derailed by my daughter's Christmas recital, which I bet you is going to fall on the same night again.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about that as well now that my son's in school. Fingers crossed, man.
Something to look forward to. I know, but hey, look, I will absolutely. I'll be a bit late, like I was last year, but hopefully we'll carve out enough time so that Carlos doesn't have to, like, you know how like the Ninja Turtles eat their food like one pizza slice at a time. Like, I felt so bad for Carlos who had to eat his food at like warp speed.
Well, we all did. Jesus. Carlos and I were there first. We should have just ate without you guys. That's what we should have done, but...
Yeah, I mean, if things go off the rails again and we all show up at different times, just eat.
And we got to start placing bets as well, Bradley. That was quite fun last year. If you weren't listening last year, Mr. James O'Flaherty and I had a bet going on that I basically had to finish 2 books before The Force Awakens. Or no, Rogue One. Yeah, Rogue One. It came right down to the wire. I had to read Bloodline, which I procrastinated on for a long time, and Catalyst as well. So that was pretty fun. James ended up buying me some nice calamari. It added to it all. That was a great thing. I'm gonna have to do something like that again this year.
Yeah, the bet was a big part of the narrative for us. Needless to say, I enjoyed a lot of calamari that night. Doesn't really matter who paid for it. Yeah, so there you go, Bradley. It'll be a small group of us, some powerful friends, a couple podcasters, and some good food, followed by some cold weather, and a hopefully great Star Wars movie. I really think this, in time, could be like a top 3 Star Wars movie. I don't know if anything could ever bump Empire and A New Hope for me. I just don't know what it would take for a movie to bump one of those 2 movies. But I feel like this movie, in time, could rival it.
Very true. Like I said, like this could be the Empire of our day, man. Like we are on the cusp of seeing the Empire of our day. Think about that, man. It's really exciting that, you know, in 15 years, we're going to look back on this movie and be like, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I also heard, just quickly, correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle, but I from what I understand, Mr. Stephen Geo is pretty adamant on joining us this year. All the way from New York.
Yes, you're correct. I hope that pans out. But yeah. Steve and Dan should be up from New York. We haven't really planned anything concrete yet, but we've sworn up and down that we're going to make that happen. So hopefully there'll be 8 of us, 9 of us maybe.
Yeah, maybe a few other recruits as well. I'm not going to invite my boss. I've told him about it, but see, what I like to do is I like to see it with you guys. This is my plan, Bradley. Like I see it with these guys, and then I go again with my boss the following week, right?
Yeah, well, what I've done for TFA and Rogue One is see it opening night, which is generally a Thursday. Friday I don't go, but then my wife and I have gone on Saturday night. So I imagine we'll do the same again. Although both years my wife didn't, not that she didn't enjoy the movies, but she was so tired because we went out for dinner and then late show. She crapped out both times.
Like slept in the theater?
For Rogue One, yeah, she was pretty much out.
Bro, I would have left her there.
I'll tell you said that.
Yeah, don't. It's her 40th birthday.
Oh my God, you just outed her, man.
It's okay. It's a big one.
Yeah, she's not happy about it.
Big plans.
She's not happy about it.
She's not happy about it? Make her feel like she's 20 again, Kyle.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Before we go down that rabbit hole, for my third Star Wars question, what do you make of Mark Hamill on Twitter teasing the possibilities of The Last Jedi trailer on October the 9th? For me, I'm good with that. What makes me think it's legit is that it's been removed. I'm always highly suspicious of tweets that were deleted. Also, it would drop about the same time The Force Awakens trailer dropped. That's true. I know Mark has a habit of trolling Star Wars fans when it comes to all things Star Wars, which I happen to enjoy, by the way. But in this case, my heart wants to believe it's real. If you disagree, please do me a favor and break it to me gently. A guy can dream, right? I guess we will find out in a couple weeks. Well, Kyle and Corey, that's all I have for this week's show. And looking forward to hearing a little more about you two and how you see a new Star Wars film for the first time. As always, looking forward to your answers along with your listener questions. May the Force be with you always. Cheers, Bradley. Bradley, we love you, man. Some awesome
seriously.
Questions here. So I think we talked about the trailer dropping maybe October 16th during Monday Night Football halftime. And that would also...
The Rebels premiere.
Yeah, the same night as the Rebels premiere. That's a lot. And I wonder if you're sort of cannibalizing yourself. If you're Lucas,
you're kind of right. I would think so. Almost now, looking back on it, does seem a little, overabundant. Almost like whoa.
Well, like Rebels Rebels will premiere earlier that day several times, right? So, but by the time we check it out, and probably when most people are going to watch it, is it 9 or 9:30 Eastern?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest.
And I think that's going to almost coincide with halftime. So you're going to have Star Wars fans potentially having to choose between sticking with Star Wars to see the trailer or cutting away from Rebels. I don't know that's going to happen. So, and again, like Bradley said, when a tweet gets deleted, sometimes there's often a good reason why. And Mark can always say, listen, I don't want to get people all riled up. I was just kidding. I removed the tweet. It's all good, guys. Carry on. Although sometimes it's a slap on the wrist and get that down. And either way, it makes sense. It's going to be the 9th or the 16th. I think that is for sure. And I think the 9th lets Lucasfilm space out 2 big events. I'm going to agree. I think Hamill slipped up a bit. And I think October 9th is going to be the real deal.
I think it's very possible. Like, I have the same thing here. Like Bradley said, it was retracted, so there's always a little something like that behind it. And Hamill, what a little Sith disturber. Love it. Either way, I'm not going to put a specific date on it. I'm not going to say it's either the 9th or the 16th. I'm just going to say it's going to be within October.
Oh, jeez.
Like, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't want to speculate on saying, like, it's going to be this date or that date. Like, a lot of people pride themselves on that. The fact that he's tweeted it here, it's interesting. Like,
well, I want to know why he knows that. Like, who would tell him that? Like, what's the purpose of telling Mark Hamill? Unless he overheard or something like that. Like, he's not part of the marketing department, and it's not like I can't imagine him picking up the phone and going, "Hey, Kathleen, when's that trailer dropping?" And she'll go, "Oh, October 9th." And then he just tweets it out.
Yeah, there's something a little fishy there. It's kind of odd.
So it could be him speculating.
He was pretty specific, too.
He was very specific. He mentioned the 2 teams that were playing. And again, he's expert troll. It would not surprise me that he went ahead and did a little homework. Who's playing that night? Oh, here we go. I'll just mention the 2 teams playing and say, no reason, but just watch.
The NFL paid him $1 million to say it.
They are struggling in their ratings this year. And at some point they're going to tell you when it's dropping, and everybody's going to watch football that night. The ratings will be fine that night. I'll promise you that. All right, Bradley, there you go, sir. Answering the trifecta of questions. I hope that satisfies the criteria here.
Yeah, it's crazy how he can keep coming up with questions like that.
Bradley's a machine, man.
Yeah, ads too, man.
Everybody, man. The Powerful Friends are really coming through this week in a big way. As they've stepped up the game big time. All right, so let's move on here. We have Nathan who's back. It's not really a question, but bear with me here. So Nathan says, "Hey guys, hope you had a swell week. You guys quickly touched on Billy Lord auditioning for Rey. You joked about the fan speculation that would have resulted from such a casting. And you guys know that I'm usually the last person to buy into a Star Wars conspiracy theory, but I actually think there's more behind that audition than you might think I would. Kyle Newman suspects that well into production of The Force Awakens that Rey was indeed Han and Leia's daughter. He believes that the remnants of this obliterated storyline are all over the movie, and I tend to agree. Rey Solo theorists love to point to these. Han looking at Rey as they fly over the forest, his offering her a job, the reference to Leia looking at her like a mother, or something like that, in the novelization, etc. And I agree with them. All those things point to Rey being a Solo. The problem is, not enough of it remains for me to believe she is still a Solo. At some point in production, it changed, and now her backstory is unclear. But this new revelation about Lord auditioning for the role is just another arrow pointing toward that abandoned thread. So while I agree 100% with you guys that this has absolutely no bearing on the story going forward, it was probably very significant at the time, right up until sometime in 2014. I think anybody who auditioned for Rey was auditioning to play the daughter of Leia Organa, and so at least taking a look at the genuine article was a no-brainer. Anyway, just thought I'd throw my 2 cents in on the matter. I definitely recommend listening to Newman explain his theories. He spoke about it on both Slash Film Daily and Steel Wars podcasts a few weeks ago. Have great weeks, guys. Nathan, thank you, sir. Corey, what do you think, man? We kind of brush this off, but it sounds plausible, right?
No, I kind of have to agree with him a bit for sure that there were things like that. Like, that's the best part about Star Wars is that everything kind of gets mashed together at a point. Like all these stories get thrown at the wall and they pick and choose. So I kind of have to agree with him. And first of all, I want to say knowledge is power. And Nathan has a lot of Star Wars knowledge, but it kind of sounded like it. Like I remember I wasn't on Twitter. I I wasn't on any like Facebook forums or anything like that. I was kind of doing my own research, I guess, on IMDb, where I was going in like, 2013, 2014, whatever, when the news that I'm kind of hinting at here is the casting call. I don't know if you remember that, Kyle. Remember the casting call for The Force Awakens?
I do not.
No? There was a list. I remember you and I had discussed it and everything. But there was a list of the descriptions of people of who they were looking for to portray certain roles. Like there was a military type guy that was there was a girl. Like it really, to me, it led me right off the bat to believe like Solo twins or
everybody
Solo
did that.
brothers and sisters.
Everybody assumed that Jason and Jaina Solo are going to be canon here. I think that was one of the main threads running through fandom, that those twins are definitely coming into canon. And it makes sense. This was still going to be this, like nobody doubted for a second that this would be the continuation of the Skywalker family story.
Yeah, having those two, like actually abolishing those two from the canon, that was a real, that was like one of the big blows in the face to the people that die for the expanded universe, because that right there is like, if they're not doing that storyline, they're not doing anything. Like they'll pick and choose what they want, like Thrawn, things of that nature. But
yeah, I mean, again, it's really possible. It makes sense that they would have done that on a number of levels. The three things of evidence that suggest, like Nathan pointed out, that looking Han's look to Rey as they fly over the forest of Takodana, Leia's look at Rey at the end, and what was the other one? Offering her a job. The job offer and Leia's look, those seem more like reaches to me, in that like I almost like a confirmation bias type thing. Like this is what I believe, and I believe those two pieces of evidence align with that. The one that resonates with me is Han looking at Rey as they fly over the forest. That it's a look of regret that he's giving her, or a look of pity. Take your pick. What do you think, Corey?
I don't know. It's interesting to look about. Like, to be honest, I don't think they would have. Like, I think in the early stages that could have been the case, but once they got into production, I think it was all hashed out. So whatever we see, the interaction between Han and Rey, or Leia and Rey, I don't think it's stuff that was meant originally to portray that they were related. There's something special about her. I get that. They understand that. Han has a soft spot for her. I would, it's hard for me to imagine those people, any one of the characters that we so much love, like Luke, Han, Leia, any one of those people dropping her off on Jakku.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Like if that was always a part of Rey's story, being dumped on Jakku, then I do not believe that she was ever a Solo. I can't believe there's any reason why Leia would abandon her child like that. Han, I can almost believe it. Even Luke making a hard choice for the good of the Jedi or something. Not Leia.
No, man, like they got to learn from their past, man. Like look what happened to Kylo. Just not telling him about his grandfather, and all kinds of stuff led down a very bad path.
And again, Leia let her son go with Luke, right? But I don't think she would have abandoned her child on a desert planet. If leaving Rey there was sort of a new insertion after they rejigged the story, then yeah, all bets are off, and Rey very well could be a Solo. I'm amenable to both possibilities, but if Rey was always on Jakku, that was always consistent with the story they were developing, I cannot bring myself to agree that Han and Leia would have been like, here you go, kiddo. Fend for yourself. Stick with that slimy slug guy.
Yeah, it's not...
like Han specifically says, I hate that guy. Yet you left your daughter with her? Maybe Han didn't know that Leia did that? I don't know. I guess it could have went any which way. And maybe that was one of the reasons originally for the split between Han and Leia. Because Han was so irate that Leia ditched their daughter. I don't know. So much changed that it's impossible to ever know. But I guess I'm open to it. I struggle with the idea of those three characters, Luke, not that Luke has much to do with this, but Leia and Han dropping Rey off on Jakku on her own. I really struggle with that.
And I've said this before, Nathan, as well. I really, really, really want to see or read or see a comic about it, whatever it is. I bought this comic book series called The Star Wars.
Yeah, the Dark Horse stuff,
Star
right?
Killer and all that. Yeah, so
Lucas's original draft.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to see Lucas's original draft for 7, 8, and 9 at one point. I really do hope we get to see that. Although I just don't know if Disney has the, to be like, here's what he would have given you, and here's what we gave you.
Hey, wait, is that a is that a $2 fine? That's not Disney's call, bro.
I don't know. I think it is at that point because it would be like Lucasfilm presenting it to Disney.
I don't know. I guess it depends on who the contracts are with. If it's Disney, then I suppose they could say, yeah, you can open up this stuff. Anyway, continue.
I just really want to see that. I'd love to see Lucas's vision for 7, 8, and 9 at one point. I think that would be really interesting. I don't know if we'll get it, but hey. And see how closely it plays into what we're seeing in this film too. I'm sure there's things that they took from whatever he presented to them, that they did take tidbits from his story.
I'm sure. You'd be a fool to scrap everything George Lucas hands you. You'd be pretty silly to do that. I imagine they kept some of the bones. But ultimately, TFA is J.J. Abrams and Lawrence Kasdan. But there is some Lucas in there for sure. But again, I don't know that I buy that Rey was a Solo. But I'm not closed off to the idea.
Not into production for me anyway. Not into production, but maybe early on.
Did the cameras ever roll with a script that said Rey was a Solo?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think cameras ever got rolling. Imagine when Han Solo busted his leg, and that's when they rejigged it. That's pretty late in the game.
Yeah, we never heard a peep of it either.
They've not been very transparent or forthcoming with behind the scenes stuff, and what we have learned has not been very appetizing. At least from a Lucasfilm standpoint, they don't want us knowing this stuff, and that's why I don't think we'll ever see making of books of these movies. And it's, if they do, they'd be so sanitized that nobody would actually believe what they're reading, which is really unfortunate. I really love the J.W. Rinsler making of books. They're just so good, man. I was so hoping to get more of that from this trilogy, but it ain't gonna happen. All right, Nathan, thank you, man. That was that's pretty cool. I didn't know that Kyle Newman had said that, and he's a guy I respect. He's a good filmmaker. He's a smart Star Wars fan. I dig the guy. So if he says that, as a filmmaker, I would definitely consider his opinion very strongly. And yeah, I'm more open to that idea now than I was, say, a couple days ago. All right. Mr. Candido is in the house, ladies and gentlemen, and he's got a question this week, and he says, watching The Force Awakens again, and I'm wondering how they could ever have written out Poe Dameron. The fact that it was even considered is scary. My question is such: is it a good thing that we get so much early script stuff leaked? Little tidbits like Poe dying early on in TFA or BB-8 going with Rey and Chewie to find Luke instead of R2-D2 give a lot of insight into the writing process. I enjoy knowing this kind of stuff, but the more I hear, the more it comes at an expense. The writers have come very close to making terrible mistakes, and in the case of Starkiller Base, they go too far. I think I agree. Does it bug you knowing how close the writers can come to complete failure for something we hold so dear? I'm looking forward to hearing you guys break this down. So, Corey, where do we start with this one? This is a great question. Do you want to know or do you not want to know? If you want to know how the sausage gets made, you might not be too happy with what you get. So let's start with Poe. Let's start with what Carlos says about Poe. He was supposed to die very early. Like the crash on Jakku, I think, was supposed to be the end of Poe. Like, doesn't that seem like lunacy now? Like, what were they thinking?
Well, it depends. If you hire someone like Oscar Isaacs, then yeah. Then you could have just hired someone, whatever. You could have got a good actor to do it, but still, yeah, it does. It is a little weird still to me this day how they get separated like that, but it is what it is.
Well, again, somebody might come to you and say, "Well, Laura Santeca was a legend. He got cast and axed in the first scene," but it's different, okay?
Yeah, it's called moving the story forward, but no, Poe is a great character, and I'm like Carlos said, like it'd be really surprising if he got cut out because you need that hero type guy, the brash hero.
Yeah, I mean,
imagine TFA. He's got the heart of gold, and
imagine TFA without Poe Dameron.
Yeah, it'd be pretty hard. There'd be another Poe Dameron type. His name would just be different, really, I guess. He would help Finn, and then this Poe Dameron would help Finn, and this new other hotshot pilot would be the Star Killer hero.
What, Snap Wexley? Greg Grunberg
definitely not
tooling around in his X-Wing, blowing up the Star Killer base? You think that JJ's buddy would have scratched his back that hard?
There's no way.
No, I mean, the whole thing about Oscar Isaac having to kind of petition for himself. No, don't kill me off, man. Like, there's a cool character in here, and okay, so they wrote him a bigger piece to the movie. Like
now he's got his own comic. Come on.
Yeah, and he's going to be Captain Poe Dameron. He's going to step up with the Resistance. He's going to be like a major player if he's not already.
And it's funny, just touching back on my collecting that we were talking about earlier, when I picked up my Rex at the Hasbro shop, I actually added to cart 6-inch Poe Dameron.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Does the face sculpt look any better than the other ones? Like, he always looks like a homeless drunk.
It's the Force Awakens version.
Yeah, okay. Say no more.
He looks like a boxer.
A losing boxer. You mean a speed bag, I guess is what we'd call him.
Well, whatever. He's a veteran.
You know what all this kind of says to me? That especially now that Star Wars is just such a highly iterative process, collaborative. There's that word again for the fourth week in a row. Yeah, when Ryan Johnson asked JJ to, or was it? Yeah, flip R2 and BB-8 at the end of the movie. Like nobody would have said anything, right? If BB-8 was there with Rey and Chewie. Which is okay. Like, I don't think anybody said that should be Chewie there. Or sorry, not that should be R2 there. Like, why is BB-8 there?
I disagree.
Really?
I think you would have been one of the first persons to say something about that.
I don't think I would have.
Oh, no, man. It's Luke, bro. They're going to see Luke.
I know, but that particular, like, you don't know where 8's going. Like, now this is Monday morning quarterbacking now.
No, you're right. But I think after the fact, we would have gotten to that point where we're saying, hey, you're right. R2 should have went with him. It would have come up and it would have been a big thing at one point.
But again, that's where the movie ends, right? And at the time, we didn't know that episode 8 would pick up immediately after. So I think the movie just would have ended there. And I think at the time, we assumed it to be some kind of jump in time. So who cares if the movie's going to end at that point with just Rey and Luke on the cliff? Who cares who's down there with Chewie at the Falcon?
But it doesn't make sense. Like, BB-8 is Poe's droid. Like, who knows how long Rey's going to be gone for? It could be for as long as the Resistance knows. As far as they know, it's a week, a month, maybe even a year she needs to train. They don't know. So Poe's like, yeah, I'm cool with it. Go. Well, R2's just like, well, I kind of miss Luke. I just woke up and everything. Okay, can I go see Luke too?
Yeah, anyway, just not to nitpick on this one thing. I just mean to say, like, there's a lot of eyes on these scripts now. And a lot of people aware of what's going on saying, maybe this doesn't work so well. So let's tweak that a bit. And maybe in a case like Colin Trevorrow, maybe he was asked to make little tweaks and changes like that. And he was like, nope. that certainly sounds like something like somebody who's being difficult to work with, right? And again, not to pound on Trevorrow anymore, but it just sounds like a lot of people get to take a look at what's going on and suggest things because everybody's trying to capture George's spirit, but nobody is George. So I think it's sort of it takes a village to raise a barn type thing. So you pass the script through a lot of experienced eyeballs, great storytellers, people who know how these movies get made, and together they come to make the best possible choices. Like, it seems like every choice they make is the right one when it comes to these things. Like, yes, something like writing out Poe seems scary, and if BB-8 is with Chewie and Rey, okay, but R2 makes more sense. Got it. Let's make that swap. There's enough people on deck here to.
I could have even seen both of them going.
Sure. Everybody goes. Leia could have been there too.
Well, no, just like R2 and BB-8 going, but like R2 had to be there.
And 3PO. 3PO could have been there too. It could have been a big welcoming party. They could have brought like a band and a bunch of party hats and like vuvuzelas,
Leia.
right?
Nah. I see 3PO's places with Leia.
I agreed. He's her servant, but I just tend to think that the collaboration word comes into play again, and we get dangerously close to some really bizarre calls. But there's enough balances and checks and balances in the process that if you're open to having your script changed a little bit for the better, in the end, it will probably work out for you. What do you think?
No, 100%. I mean, unless you have this amazingly brilliant idea, but either way, like these things, when they come together, it's always, like I've always said this again, it's many people throwing ideas at the wall, and then, some greater minds, if you will, just kind of picking and choosing and saying, hey, this fits with this fits with this, like, makes perfect sense. You got to work together. That's it. And like, no one's greater than Star Wars.
Yeah. And I really do think there's like something psychological is at play with fans, like what we get, because we're so emotionally invested in these movies, in these characters, that we almost become apologists to a degree, that every choice they make is the right one and nothing else makes sense. So when we hear what almost came to pass, it just sounds utterly stupid, because this is how it was and this is what happened on screen, and that is perfect because it is Star Wars. I really wish there was some doctor out there that would like psychoanalyze all of us fans. I bet you they would come up with some really wacky stuff when it comes to this kind of question.
The fickle fandom.
Yeah, just the blind dedication to something. Anyway, Carlos, I like this question. I don't know that I could really break it down any further. They do make a ton of baffling choices, but they kind of get knocked back into shape along the way. I can't really think of anything where I go, I wish they had taken a second stab at that.
Like you said, Starkiller is a big one. That's one of the big...
Well, yeah.
I mean, it was still fun to watch on screen and all that, and I don't hold it against them all that much, but it was a mistake, and again, I don't want to see another super weapon anytime soon. So rehashing ideas like that, let's get a little more creative. But for the most part,
well, again, you know what? I
think they're on the right track.
That's an interesting question, because when you're an organization like the Empire or the First Order looking to conquer the galaxy, you kind of need that nuclear deterrent, the big weapon that is going to keep everybody in line. Just the one thing that everybody's afraid of. The Death Star filled that role. Starkiller filled that role. Like I here on Earth, it's nukes, right?
Yep.
So if you took away nukes and you took away Starkillers and Death Stars, what is so big and scary about the First Order? They have a lot of ships? Ooh. where they have one really
Yeah,
big ship. Wow, like it's
half the size of the Death
I know.
Star, or
It's
a
it's
third, whatever.
essentially a Death Star designed like a ship, or designed like with wings. Like who knows what kind of armaments it has. I doubt it has a planet-killing device. Anyway,
But like Carlos said, like one wrong turn though, it's true, Carlos. Like to have this planted within a few people, it is tedious and nerve-wracking at times to think that like these guys make one wrong decision on the table and we're gonna get upset. Like it's either I'm gonna get upset, maybe Kyle's upset, you're upset, or like a whole other division of Star Wars. Like it could be very divisive too. Like that's what's interesting and kind of fun about it, I guess, at the same time. But for the most part, they're on top of things like that, and they recognize that they know, they're familiar with fandom anyhow, and the reactions.
for better or worse, they are familiar with us. That is for sure. All right, Carlos. I hope that helped a little bit. It's a tough question, but yeah, I mean, you got to be careful what you ask for. If you want to see how the sausage gets made, it might shake your confidence a bit. It seems like these people just don't wave a magic wand and out comes the best thing ever. It takes a lot of people chipping away at it.
That's cutthroat.
I don't know about that. Collaboration, Corey. The word.
Kathleen, the door. The door's there. Take the door. Remember that? Name our high school teacher that said that, Kyle.
Ed Long.
Ed Long?
Maybe he was before your time.
Take the door. Ralph Whiteman.
Yeah. Well, they were buddies. And ladies and gents, the mighty Stubaka's in the house this week. It is awesome to hear from Stubaka, and here's what he has to say. He goes, "Hi guys, hope you are having a great weekend. I have a question. It may not quite fit into the show. See what you think. I'm in the process of trying to streamline my collecting. It's tough, but I think it's the way forward for me. The two main reasons for me are space and cash, but I am struggling to..." Are you opening a beer back there?
I am.
Oh God, what
It's midnight on the dot, too.
are you doing?
I got the day off tomorrow, man.
You want to edit the show?
Boat out. I'm not trying to keep any secrets over here.
Hey, 2017's ticking, man.
Oh.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyway, I'm struggling to decide what way to go. It's probably going to be Leia, but I do love the creatures, aliens, everything about Jabba's palace, Luke, Ahsoka, the list goes on. So my question is, if you were to downsize in collecting, what would your focus be? This is why winning Trev the Tusken Raider was awesome, because it's a figure I really wanted, but I wouldn't have bought because of streamlining. Go figure. So guys, what do you collect? As always, you guys are the best. No, Stubaka, you are the best, sir. Man, this question got me thinking, Corey, but you talk about it kind of every week. So you're doing mostly Black Series now, right?
Yep. I think this is an awesome question. It definitely fits into what we've been talking about this evening.
Yeah, this question definitely fits into our totally all over the place podcast. How about it, Corey?
First of all,
what is your methodology now?
I like what he said about Trevor. Trevor the Tusken Raider has inspired me, and later more on that on Sith Disturbers later this week. But I will admit this. I think Force Friday, I really got swept up, way too swept up in this thing. Like I bought the 3 3/4. I bought all the 6-inch. Looking back on it, I got a bit of buyer's remorse. I'm still happy and all that, but there's certain figures I really didn't need. I should have went about it more in the sense that, there were certain ones I really felt like I had to have, which is, again, a bit obsessive or compulsive, whatever, but I needed that Hera. I wanted that Hera so bad. Thrawn as well was right up there. Luke and Rey. After that, I could have skipped on Kylo, I guess, but I wanted him. Vader, the Trooper, not all that necessary. So I'm kind of in the same boat as Stupaka. Like, at a point, everyone's going to have to streamline their collections unless, you're rich, or you have a lot of space in your house, or you're
or both.
Absolutely single.
No, it's a valid question.
But,
it's a totally valid question. Like, I don't have all the money and space in the world, or time, or energy to chase all this stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it's coming a little bit to a breaking point for me. Like, I've talked about it over the last couple of weeks that I need to kind of rejig how I'm doing collecting. Like the Force Friday thing, I can't say that I really enjoyed myself. It was more stressful than anything, just because our options here seem to be so poor. I don't know. Like now, like we're kind of deep into the 3 3/4 and the Black Series stuff, and that's getting a bit overwhelming. So I gotta kind of go with one or the other. But when you think about it, so let's say you have $100, that gets you 3 Black Series figures, or 10 3 3/4. And at that point, it becomes about what your motivation is for collecting, and that's a totally personal thing, right? Are you in it for the nostalgia to complete a set? Do you think because these Black Series figures are going to be worth something someday, displaying better? I don't know what your motivation is for collecting, but for me personally, doing both lines is getting a bit much, and I'm not even doing every character yet. Boxes are still piling up all over the place.
No, I have to agree with you. Like, boxes are piling up here, and one day it's going to be so fun just to look at the eclectic nature of what I'm doing here. Like, honestly, I'm kind of like you, Stubaka. Like, I got carried away with Force Friday, but my advice to you and how you should move forward with your collecting really is take it one day at a time, and just go like you would of everyone, especially you, brother. Like, you're so positive, you got such a big heart, so just follow your heart, man. Like, just buy whatever's, like, give yourself a budget for the month. Maybe get yourself one little thing a month, or every 2 months, like, save up for that one little special thing and make it character based. Like, make it whoever is tickling your fancy that month. Like, for me personally, like, I just finished watching the Clone Wars not too long ago. Like, I had watched it in the past, but not religiously. Now that I'd seen it chronologically back to back, like, there's all kinds of characters I had to go back and get, like Asajj Ventress, Cad Bane, Hondo, all these cool characters that I was like I need to have these select few, like, there's still many on the list, but I take it kind of like that, like, it's all over the place. Like, when I unbox this stuff, I'm going to have multiples and multiples of certain characters, which is really cool. Like, it's fun. You get the evolution of each character, different costumes and all that. And in the back of your mind as a collector too, you have your boxed inventory in your head. You know what you have and what you don't have. Like, right off the bat, like, you don't have to have a list. It's all in your mind. It's all up there. So again, just follow your heart and don't stop. But yeah, take a step back, because I'm going to be taking a step back. I'm sure of it. Like, there's a lot of characters I still want out there, but I really can't be. I've never been, and I won't be a completionist. And from the beginning, I think once we'll probably.
This coming from the guy who just bought all the 40th anniversary and chased it down hard. That was the
one thing. That was the one thing, and I'm still searching out a certain X-wing Luke. But
can't help it.
Who? My brother? My brother has one. I'm totally gonna bust him up hard for it.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, he's gonna feel real guilty. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a wicked present. And the best part about that too is my collection won't be complete until I have an X-wing Luke. But it can't be just any X-wing Luke. It has to be my brother's X-wing Luke. That will really, really complete my my collection.
It's gonna be funny. Stu, I'm gonna give you more concrete advice because Corey just told you to follow your heart, and that means go with your emotions, and that's gonna lead you to ruin. So.
Oh man, go with the characters you love, like Leia, Ahsoka.
I would stick to what you love, man. So whether it's a certain size of figure, whether be the 6-inch or the 3 3/4, or a certain character or an era, just focus on one of those things. So if you want to build a great Leia collection, just do Leia. And I know you've already got a semi-impressive Ahsoka thing going. You can just focus on Ahsoka And if it means you only get one thing a year as you save up for it, focus on that. Yeah, 'cause it's too easy to get pulled in too many different directions, like what's happening to me now. So
I'm seriously like, it's sad, man. Like I'm like an addict, man. When I get in one like Walmart or any of those places now, I'm just like, yeah, like let me at them. Like what do they got on the pegs, man?
Yeah, again, like I went to visit my in-laws this weekend, a few hours away, and there's an EB Games and a Walmart right next to each other. I blew right by both. Who knows what's in those stores? I have
treasures.
Could have been great stuff. I mean, this is like small town Ontario. It was a Walmart Supercenter, so you know that at some point that place was loaded, and I just blew right by. I'm not going to keep falling down the rabbit hole.
Well, you got what you wanted.
Exactly.
Which is great.
I defined what I wanted. I've got it. And I'm going to close up shop a little bit now. So, Stu, that's what I would suggest, man. Pick a character or pick an era and just stick with it. Like one thing I kind of want to do is just like dump everything I have and just build like the vintage, like the 70s collection. Just like loose figures, but get them all. That, I think.
Or I don't know, like even you know that the movies are going to be moving forward. Like focus on, we got the Han Solo movie coming up next. Say, okay, I want to get a Han Solo or a Lando, whatever it is, just again, like I do have a bit of buyer's remorse going with the TLJ stuff. It's fine. I love it. It's great. But the 40th anniversary stuff, that was really fun. Like I do not regret that whatsoever. And I'm really, really, really happy the way that all played out. Like I really worked hard, and that was a fun hunt. That was a good hunt. Even this was fun too, but it was way too much. I got way carried away. And again, like once I unbox all this stuff, it's gonna be so interesting to see. Like, oh man, I got like 6 Leias here of like different genres, different sizes. It's I like that. Like you can make little like shrines almost of certain characters.
Well, yeah, and that's what I think is Stu's best bet, to build a fulfilling collection. Pick somebody and go with them, or if you can't stick to one person, make it a theme. Like I'm going to stick to Skywalkers, or I'm going to do Han and Leia, or Han and Chewie, the droids. There's duos and trios that you can put together. That you can build a great collection just going with that type of mentality. But I think you also have to take action in that. Once you decide what it is you want to do, I would take as much of your other stuff as you can and look into either selling or trading with other people trying to build the focused collection that you want. Because I think if you just let the other stuff linger, it'll always draw you back to the air quotes dark side, where you'll just be scattered again. So I would take action in streamlining. Pick what you want and then get rid of almost everything else.
I disagree. I think you should follow your heart and just pick and choose certain characters from the films moving forward and films from the past.
So, Stu, in essence, Corey's telling you don't change anything.
No, I'm just saying don't get carried away like I did. And, just, again, choose only the characters that you're drawn to, not every, like if they produce like 10 characters, get 1 or 2 maybe, don't go for all 10.
Anyway, you have I guess 2 different pieces of opinion. Mine's a bit more aggressive. Shape the collection you want. Throw some of your old stuff overboard by trade or sell. And Corey says, follow your heart.
You'll come up with a much more like, I don't know. It's interesting the picture your collection paints almost. Like I'm looking forward to that. Really like going over it with you and you too, man. At one point, going over all your stuff and saying, "Holy cow! Like look at this,"
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna do like a video series of that. Like, I have a closet of boxes of Star Wars toys, and they've been in boxes since I moved out of our parents' place. I think in like 2003. A lot of the stuff hasn't seen the light of day in well over a decade. So
It's treasure, man.
Yeah, I mean, this will be like an Indiana Jones moment where we unearth some old stuff. And yeah, we'll unbox. That's what we're gonna do. Like we'll do like however many boxes are in there. We'll pick apart one box at a time and go through it and see what kind of treasures or junk is in these boxes. Sounds pretty cool, right?
I'm down.
Now let's see how fast we can get that off the ground.
Yeah, we'll see how much stuff I can pick and choose from those boxes.
Yeah,
you don't need this
I'm gonna-
anymore. Oh, I got this in double.
I'm gonna
duplicate.
wrap up your hands like a lineman with broken fingers. Just make your finger look like a giant Q-tip. You're not touching anything.
I don't.
You can
need
hold
to.
the camera.
It's magic. Like, where did this go?
Yeah, you've pulled enough of that in your day. What happened to my bike? Where's my Smashing Pumpkins t-shirt? I don't know. How did you get all that weed? I don't know. Stu, I hope that helped. Let us know, buddy. Let us know what you decide when you decide it. Okay, and Katie's back as well. Real quick question this week. So, if you got selected to direct a Star Wars movie, then what would the story be about? Give me a brief synopsis. There you go. Love you guys. Keep up the great work. Good work. Yeah, good work. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. Corey, I know you put tons of effort into this one, so let's go.
No, I really didn't. Actually, Katie's being very sarcastic in the sense that I asked him if he could so kindly push this question to next week.
You can defer, Corey.
Deep question.
If you want to punt this week because you haven't thought of anything, you can. I'll do mine because it'll be awesome enough for both of us. And then
no, it's multitasking. I kind of came up with an idea while we were podcasting here.
See what
again because I knew he'd probably pull this.
What happened is that Corey really only gets to the show notes after dinner on Sunday, and so
this is not true. This is not true. I looked at the show notes. I was at the show notes probably late last night at like midnight, kind of like looking at them. Okay, great. And I did get back to the show notes once I put my son to bed around 7:30 this evening, and I said, "Wow, they have like grown in triplicate." There was a lot more stuff on the docket now, which is great. I love it.
Anything since the afternoon.
Either way, I would have liked to have given you a little more here, Katie, but there's two things that kind of come to mind. By the way, before you go ahead,
I'm giving Katie the right to veto your movie and to make you redo your work if this is not up to snuff.
Well, I'm going to say straight up, I don't have a synopsis really, but I think something that could play well into the Star Wars universe. I don't know if I necessarily want to direct it or whatever, but a spy film, like a Fulcrum agent maybe, or I don't know. I think we're gonna kind of get that. We got it a bit in Rogue One, I guess, in a way. You know, there was the whole infiltration thing, but a spy film can be pretty cool. There's a lot of room there for new cool characters. Like you can have the James Bond of Star Wars. Plus a droid. You know, he's got a droid sidekick. Short round.
That would be cool.
My second one would be almost like an Afra-esque, Indiana Jones-esque epic, where you can have a character like that's not necessarily force sensitive, but they're unlocking and showing the viewers, even if the character doesn't understand necessarily what they're seeing, the viewer will. So it can unlock a lot of force mysteries that way, or a lot of ancient lore within that galaxy. I mean, there's eons and eons of stuff that needs to be unlocked, and I love the archaeology factor, so that could be pretty cool.
I'm yes to Afra in any shape, way, or form that you want to put her on screen. Do it. Afra needs to be on screen somewhere.
It's Dr. Afra to you.
Sorry, sir. So Katie, I know I said I would do an episodic movie if given the choice just last week, but how do you even begin to put down the roots for a synopsis of an episodic movie? I'm just not creative enough for that. So I'm cooking up here the basis of a standalone film, and it would be sort of it would break a little bit with the way Star Wars operates as a film. So this would be like a time-spanning movie featuring Luke in the first few years after Endor, and it would span all the way up until, like, say, Bloodline time, whenever Ben turns. So the movie would start out around the time that Luke establishes a Jedi Academy, and I'd put it on Jeddah just because. And then there's like an undercurrent of Luke suspecting or sensing that something isn't quite right in the Force. We see this in Aftermath, right, where Leia senses a dark force sort of threatening her unborn son. I'm assuming this is Snoke watching from a distance. And then of course, yeah, like a subplot through this movie that spans years is like turmoil in Ben as that shifty nebulous force slowly pulls at him. And I guess we would also see Leia's growing concern over what's going on with her son, and we'd see her kind of turn Ben over to Luke. And
he's going to boot camp.
Kind of, yeah. We'd also meet a younger Lor Santeca in this movie, and I've said this before. Like I wanted this to kind of play out in a series of novels, but I wouldn't mind seeing it tackled in a bunch of movies or one long movie, where Lor Santeca and Ben Solo and Luke kind of travel the galaxy together, uncovering the history of the Jedi, while Snoke is kind of that threat in the background, but like a different version of the Knights of Ren are kind of hunting them. And yeah, the movie would kind of end as it leads into Bloodline after Ben already knows the secret of his lineage. So he knows he's Darth Vader's grandson. And then like the climax of the whole thing would be a battle between Snoke and Luke. Luke and Ben versus Snoke. And this is sort of the tipping point for Ben. And it shows us the battle of how Snoke got all that battle damage. And
the burning of the temple.
That could be part of it, I think.
I would think that's part of that battle, no? Come on. Snoke comes back with Kylo. They try and show him who's boss. Snoke gets badly burned. Well, they attempt to burn the temple.
There's all kinds of ways you could do that. But the whole time we're getting a mirroring from Episode 3, where Snoke is kind of giving Ben the same treatment that Palpatine gave Anakin. You know, during the Mace Windu fight, when Anakin sort of pops in to intervene. And Palpatine says, "See, look, the Jedi are trying to kill me. Everything I told you was true about them." You could have Snoke giving Ben that same sort of line, giving him this like same sort of like the same kind of wooing to the dark side, right? So finally, Ben would turn on Luke. Obviously, that wouldn't work. Ben gets hurt. Leia finds out about it. There's a rift between Luke and Leia. Like you could build all kinds of layers of complexity to this thing. And again, Luke would also deal Snoke all those scars, and disfigurements, and all that stuff. So I think that could be a really great movie, and it would answer all kinds of questions about Luke that we all seemingly have. How about that, Katie? There's my synopsis for you.
I like it.
You do, huh?
Kind of.
Kind of.
Not as much as mine. There.
Oh yeah, you're
thought of on the spot.
Your highly detailed non-synopsis.
Yeah.
Come on.
2 great standalones. Lots of potential.
Katie, thank you very much. And you can submit your questions as late as you want.
It's true, Katie.
All right, Jeff's back this week. And Jeff asks, which Star Wars character would you like to have for the following? Cool uncle, cool aunt, grandparents, brothers and sisters, parents, and cousins. So let's go through this quickly, Corey. Who is your cool uncle?
Well, to be honest, I didn't pick and choose from every relative, but put down a couple of cool uncles. Definitely want the Han Lando package.
Yeah, I got Lando as a cool uncle. You know, I'm looking through my list here, and I suffered from limited thinking. Like I only went with human characters. Spoiler alert. But I should have opened it up. I should have thought about like adding some aliens to this list.
Oh, I definitely have some aliens here.
Oh, good for you.
I got one more cool uncle to throw in there. Like, granted, I'm probably older than him at this point, but if I can revert to, 10, 12-year-old Corey, Uncle Poe Dameron would be awesome. Because we pretty much had one in our, we had an Uncle Mike. He had a Fiero back in the day.
No, that was he was Nissan 240 SX. Cool little sports car.
Yeah, that's true.
It was no 300 ZX, but
it still had the flip lights.
that was
I remember
big thing in the
I remember
early
driving
90s.
around with him in that car, and I thought like I was so cool in that car with him, and they were so chill. So
He totally rolled that car though.
Yep.
All right, who's your cool aunt?
I got a few ones here. I went with, this is really stereotypical, but I took Aunt Beru as one of my aunts because, she really reminds me of an aunt that we had, our Aunt Marguerite. She was more like a great aunt, my grandmother's sister, but they were very close, and every time I saw my grandmother, I saw her, so she was very sweet, very...
We're talking about cool. Who's your cool aunt?
My cool aunt? We've talked about this once in the past. It's got to be not so much Leia, but Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, Crazy Aunt Carrie. You'd go out and get absolutely ripped with Crazy Aunt Carrie.
Yeah, she wouldn't tell your parents. Like, it'd be cool as long as you're with her and you're safe.
She would tell your parents, and she'd be like, "Yeah, that's what we did. How cool is that?" Your parents would know. Like, of course they would know. You're going out with Carrie Fisher. Let's be honest. You're going out for a bender.
You go out with her. Hera too. Hera's a loving aunt, not necessarily the cool aunt, but cool, but still loving and strict.
Yeah, well, it seems like all the women in Star Wars are very stoic, right? There's not many that have like the Poe Dameron Lando cool.
Afra?
Yeah, I guess there she is again. She's the closest thing. But I don't know, if I could revert again to my 10-year-old self, I suppose Afra could be my cool aunt. But then again, I don't know. I have Leia just by default. I think there's a version of Leia that is really damn cool, and not too wrapped up in what's going on in the galaxy. That at some point she would have been a really cool aunt. But I guess that's a very default answer. What about grandparents?
This is pretty easy. Again, it might sound like low-hanging fruit.
No, there it is. You said it.
There it is. I said it. I learned that from you, But
you have to kill it.
Yoda and Maz.
So they shacked up, huh?
Not only that, but how do you not want them as your grandparents? Like, Yoda is the total funny. He could be funny. He could be so wise. He's everything you want in a grandparent, and Maz is too. Like,
I suppose. Yeah, people who would like that answer. I like that answer. Lor Santeca as a grandfather.
Yeah, wise.
Well-traveled. Seen a lot of stuff. These two finally hooked up. Qui-Gon and Shmi.
Dude, it's funny. I have them on my list later on as well.
Yeah, Qui-Gon and Shmi got together, and I think they would make good grandparents.
I actually have them as my parents.
Interesting. I've got a different answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to siblings, brothers and sisters. Who have you got?
I didn't get any siblings.
Well, you've got the best one, so I get it.
Give me your 40th anniversary and we'll have this.
Give me stuff and then I'll like you.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. It's what do you call it? Retroactive retributions.
Yeah. Again, I don't see it happening. You know who'd make a good brother-sister pair? Poe Dameron and Jess Pava.
I like it.
That would be a cool brother-sister. I'd be like, you'd be the middle kid. Poe's your older brother. Jess is your youngest sister. I'm down with that.
I like it. Yeah.
Although in my case, I'd be the oldest, and they'd both be younger than me. All right, so you spoiled your parents, right? You already gave up your parents?
Yeah. I got Liam and Shmi.
Nobody's picking Han and Leia, right? Because Han's a bad father.
He's all right. You don't know.
Yeah, I guess I don't know, but I don't think he was very good as a dad. No, my parents are Bale and Brea Organa. I think those are two wonderful parents to have. I'd want to say General Draven as my dad, but we've only seen the hard ass side of him. I'd like to know that he has a cool side before saying I wouldn't mind General Draven as my dad.
No, you'd be a military kid. With that mustache, you'd be drilling it into.
No, he doesn't have a mustache.
Who am I thinking of then?
Merrick. You're thinking of Merrick. Merrick would be a cool uncle, I think. Draven was the guy that gave Jin the proposal. Do this mission or we'll put you back where we found you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I don't want him.
He might have too much Red Foreman in him.
Yep, not fun.
I'd give him an audition. If there's a cool side to him, I would want to at least see it. All right, finally, wrapping it up. Cousins.
Well, Jeffrey, I think you're going to like this one. Kind of chose him just for you. And, you don't see your cousins all that often, so you take it with a bit of a grain of salt. And it's so great when you do see him. But Cousin Jar Jar. Who doesn't want to see Cousin Jar Jar? You have just a blast with him. He's so positive. He's great. You chill with him for a bit, and you don't get too sick of him too quick. You're going to see him maybe in another 3, 4, 5 months.
Yeah, he's the kind of cousin you go out with and you get arrested when you hang out together, but not because you're going around like pulling people's fences down or cow tipping. You go out and he's a klutz and he destroys property by accident.
Yeah, and you have to defend him.
Yeah. My cousins would be Cousin Porkins. How about that?
What do you want to do? What's up with Cousin Porkins?
Come on, man. Cousin Porkins.
Let's go have a cheeseburger.
Let's go grab a cheeseburger. Let's go play some video games, dude.
Yeah.
That guy's got every console there is.
I like that.
And I would also like young Obi-Wan as a cousin before the PTSD sets in. He would be a pretty cool cousin. Even if he's like he's full on Jedi, there's a little rogue streak in him. You could take on us whatever. There's going to be that one time a year where you're going to catch him in the right mood. Come on, Obi-Wan, let's go out and go drinking. And yeah, you know what? I don't have any briefings tomorrow. Training's not till Monday. Let's go drink.
Cousin Kinlon Voss.
I don't know enough about him.
He could teach you, you go camping with him, he teach you some tracking, drink some peyote or something.
He's not Chavez. Cousin Uncle Rex.
Yeah, he'd be a good.
Yeah, that's a good one. Cousin Boba.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. See, I'm still stuck on humans. Okay, I'm gonna branch out just a bit. Aunt Shakti.
I like it. I can see it. Depa Balaba.
Yeah. She'd be pretty cool. Uncle Sheev?
Nah.
No? For some reason, no, I don't think so.
Uncle Cad Bane, you only see, he's the relative you only see every 5-10 years.
But he gives you a bag full of credits anyway.
Yeah.
Blood money.
That's why you love him so much.
Oh, that was fun. There's probably so many more. Okay, guys, whoever's still listening at this point, let us know who you'd want in your Star Wars family. Love to hear it. And
I love questions like that.
Be more creative than I was. Open it up to some of the non-human species. I was so one track on this. I'm very disappointed in myself. Never even said Cousin Luke or Uncle Luke or anything.
Yeah, no seventh brother or seventh sister, fifth brother.
Uncle Maul. Cousins Maul and Savage.
Yeah, seriously. They're the ones you see, like, again, they live out in the country.
No, look, those are the guys you go out with, and you know you're getting into a scrap that night.
Yeah,
Oh, you know
true.
you're coming home
Like
with
your-
broken or bloody knuckles and a fat lip at least. You know, they can't handle their booze. They're both likes to fight guy. And first they start fighting each other, and then other people get
No,
involved.
it's fight others, then fight each other when there's no one else left to fight.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, that's it. Jeffrey, thank you. Mr. Canto Cast. Finally, we're going to wrap it all up here. Steve from San Diego Sabres radio podcast. So Steve says, hope you had a Force-tastic weekend. Steve, I'm just glad I get to wrap weekends up with the Tumbling Saber podcast, because otherwise this weekend it started really well, and then it was miserable in the middle, and well, now we're here, and I'm having some fun. Hopefully all you guys are still enjoying this too. I have a question which I'm sure has been burning in listeners' minds for thousands of minutes. That's curious, a way of putting it. Your exit song. It's distinctively not a Star Wars related song, as far as I know. Is there a story around it then? Was there some reason that you chose it? Is there some mystery lyric that applies to the show or you guys personally? Inquiring minds want to know. Cheers with a Z, Steve. P.S. I enjoy it and tend to listen through to the end of the song each episode. That is some high praise. And you're right, Steve. It is not Star Wars music. It has nothing to do with Star Wars. It's there purely because I like the tune and I like the person who created the tune. But for the first time in the history of this show, and hopefully the last, though I reserve the right for it to not be the last, I'm not going to answer your question. Instead, Steve, I will refer you to episode 73 of the Tumbling Saber podcast and start listening at around the 6-minute 40-second mark, and then give it another 5 minutes. I think that'll answer your question, because a lot of people right now are probably, they're not laughing at you, Steve. They're laughing with you, because and in all fairness, you're relatively new on the scene. And which means that because I haven't spoken about this music in a while, it means I'm not giving the person who gave us the song enough credit for the song. So without spoiling any identities, Corey, you're the worst. That's what I'll tell you, because a lot of people, everybody that is a powerful friend knows. So it's not like you're on the outside looking in. You're about to be definitely in on the secret. Episode 73, 6-minute 40-second mark, and enjoy those next 5 minutes. And I'm pretty sure you'll pick it up pretty quick.
Yeah, I'd say in the least you want this guy on your team, and now I'm at the point where I can at least listen to and hum along to the song in my car. I haven't really got back to singing status yet. But watching and waiting, so
Corey, you are the worst.
Yeah.
Why on earth would you do that?
I don't know. It's probably because it's like 12:30 and I'm like,
not thinking. All right, well, there's another edit for me there. All right, there you go, Steve. Giving you a little, I'll put a link in the show notes so you don't have to go digging through my website looking for it. But that's the deal. Episode 73. All your answers will be revealed, and I think your face might melt a little bit for what you get to hear there.
Yeah, that was fun. I still remember that. That was a blast.
That was a blast. And if I was going to do some of our greatest moments in episode 100, that would be one of them.
For sure.
Absolutely. But I'm not doing that, so just pretend I did. All right, guys. That's it for episode 94. It's in the books. Our thanks to ads to Bradley, Carlos, Nathan, Stubaka, Katie, Jeff, and Steve. Holy cow. Did you guys ever deliver this week? Thank you so much, everybody. Hope to hear from you all again real soon. And Corey, what's up with Powerful Friends this week? What are we doing this week?
Well, I think we have a pretty big giveaway this week. We're not giving away not one, but 2 Old Man Luke 3 3/4. Stay tuned for that. There might be even more to come. You never know with us two, loopholes, all these surprises. It's so exciting here over at the Tumbling Saber, but we're definitely looking forward to giving those away. Kyle's going to do one. I'm going to do one. And yeah, man. I mean, I can't wait to do Sith Disturbers with you. Like, the show notes there are none. And we're going to just come at each other hard and like we do. And it's going to be so much fun. And I can't wait to see you guys there.
Well, there you go. So again, that's if you're not a powerful friend yet, get in on the draw to get your hands on one of the 2 Lukes.
Yeah, super simple.
Super simple.
Become a powerful friend. Patreon.com/tumblingsaber.com. Or no, patreon.com/tumblingsaber.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
Dude, we got some good stuff. I'm telling you, like, I can't stop spending money on for you guys. Like, it's crazy. Every time I go out, I'm like, hey Kyle, I got this, I got that. And he's like, even tonight, like on a break, he was like, dude, like, chill out and like, relax.
Well, we are covered for the next several months. I'll leave it at that.
I wrote a list the other day, and we should be covered for at least 7 months at this point.
Are we still going to be podcasting then? I hope so. Okay, man. That's awesome. Corey, thank you, sir. Another show in the books. Tell the good people where they can find you.
Well, y'all can find me. I'd like to hear from you on email every now and again. And that's at with a Z, double E, at tumblingsaber.com. And you can always reach out to me on Twitter, which I really love. I love interacting with you guys there. It's so fun. Bring your gift game at Chop Rules with a Z.
Awesome. And you guys know where to find me, Tumbling Saber, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Come say hi. And don't forget about our friends at the Star Wars Commonwealth and some great podcasts there done by some great podcasters and even better people. So StarWarsCommonwealth.com, get a load of the shows there. And if you're looking for more awesome Star Wars content, well, I'm telling you, you can kill a week listening to just shows at the Commonwealth. And I highly recommend it. Our friends are doing some really powerful things there.
Your commute to and from work will never be the same.
Yeah, that's right. He jokes not. All right, guys. Looking forward to talking to you all on Twitter and Facebook or wherever else. Have a good week, and we'll talk to you in Sith Disturbers. Bye for now.
Self-redeeming qualities, have they hindered me? Hindering, was I blind to see? Blind to see that you needed me, all of me. Well, you were there for me. I will be there too, watching, listening. Every moment wanting all of you, and I believe I can save you, just don't let me go. And I can see I'll be waiting, always waiting, just don't let me go. Just don't let me go. Time goes on and I'm questioning all the things I've seen, crazy things I've seen as I'm watching you. I'm watching you walking away from me. Were you watching me? Was it just a dream? Just a dream. And I and I'm waiting.